I'm waiting for some more people to get in here. Today I wanted to talk about a few different topics. One, I wanted to talk about Krishan Rock and colorism. Number two, I wanted to talk about Laverne Cox and T.S. Madison. I saw them they were doing a podcast interview together or whatever. And I just really want to say that, like, I really do believe that T women are extremely male centered and delusional. I think that the biggest pick me in the entire world that is a woman, a biological woman, cannot hold a candle to how male centered trans women are. And I think it's so crazy. And the fact that they're actually having like live streams trying to get women to not use the term biological, to talk about assigning sex at birth and all of this other stuff. It's really like truly psychotic. Like, and it's demonic also, but let me just keep going. Somebody else said, hey, how you doing, suffering succotash? Hey, how you doing, Miss Stephanie? Then number three, I wanted to talk about Young Pharaoh. I don't know if anybody knows who Young Pharaoh is. This is like probably 2010s, I want to say, or maybe 2020s, like pre-COVID. There's a black man named Young Pharaoh that was capitalizing on black people's disenfranchisement, disappointment with churches and things like that. And they started, telling people that the church isn't the way to go, Christ isn't the way to go. Really, you're your own God and a whole bunch of stuff. And a lot of people started believing that. And they started following human beings, which to me, it never made sense, because you tell me that believing in God is stupid, believing in Christ is dumb, those are just men, you can't trust that, that doesn't make sense, Sky Daddy this, Sky Daddy that, but then turn around and listen to everything a human being say to you and follow their words like it's gospel. What's the difference between following some random Negro named Young Pharaoh and following Jesus Christ and believing in him? It don't make no sense. It really don't. But nonetheless, I want to talk about this because I see everybody talking about how the CIA got this man, and that's the reason why he running around here with stiletto nails on and twerking and acting crazy and showing videos of him. I don't feel like anybody got a hold of that man. If it was the CIA, baby, he would be in a body bag. What do they get out of freaking doing that? Like, it just don't make no sense. And I really wish that people would use their brains when it comes to certain things. Like, I think it was the man that said that the CIA put weapons and narcotics in the hood. That man was found pew-pewed 2 times in the head. And they said that it was self-unaliving. That's what they do to people that they really feel like, shut up talking. We don't want you to hear nothing. They don't turn you to putting stiletto nails on and twerking. And this way that black people go to try to coddle black men and their piss poor decisions, I don't know what to say. It's very, very weird. Okay. And then number 4, lastly, it's a random topic. Anything y'all want to talk about that's coming to mind, we can talk about it for number 4. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. So if you guys want to talk about that, or if anybody's listening, Past is alive, and you want to talk about these topics, feel free to join. Brown Sugar, you had anything to say, sis?
Hey, sis. Yeah, I seen I think it was the clip, or heard about the clip of Krishan saying if you were born dark skinned that you were cursed and all this other weird stuff. I mean, I'm so sick of seeing her on my timeline. She's up with Blueface again. Like, she's very demonic. Like, it's really something wrong with her, and I hate that we're from the same city, but she's extremely demonic, extremely male centered, and I don't pray on nobody's downfall, but I'm low key patiently waiting for her downfall, for her to be humbled by the Lord. Because she claims that, oh, I love God and all this other stuff, and going to church and coming up with songs, only listen to gospel, and she's fake. Like, she's not living the life that she is posing to be. Because, like, if you really love the Lord, God loves everybody in all shapes and sizes and colors. And for you to say, hey, dark skinned people are demonic is actually crazy. And her mother is, I don't know if she's dark skinned, but I know she's dark brown. So for you to still have that elitist attitude when you have dark skinned people, or brown skin, the darker shades in your family, is actually sad. And to actually have that method that they are dangerous and they're bad people is very disturbing to me. Laverne Cox and TS, man, were they on a podcast together or something, sis?
Yeah. Talking about women shouldn't be using the term biological. And T.S. Madison said that he thinks that women are jealous of him because we're sharing the same men. And I'm just so tired of hearing it. Why is everything about a man? It ain't even about you sleeping with some men. It's about the fact that you keep violating women. Oh, I can't stand him. I really can't.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that he has an obsession with biological women, and he's at competition with biological women. I mean, it just doesn't make sense why he's doing all this to get male attention and to feel like he's competing with getting actual straight men, which isn't true. Because looking at him, he looks like a blow up Smex doll. Like, he looks very disturbing to look at. Like, if I seen him walking down the street, I would just assume that he was very funky. I would tell off the bat that that was a dude. And if he can get a straight man, he was never straight. He was always G, because it's clear to see that this is a dude with breast and with a penis, or a eggplant. Sorry, I'll say that. Far as Young Pharaoh, I never heard of him, but I know you said that he switched over to being G. Looking at his mannerisms in the Tasha K interview that Miss Sharice told me to look at, I just glanced at it. He looks like he was on the path of being G. Just how he looked, his demeanor, just very sassy, very girly like, just being very feminine. I don't know much of his rhetoric, but it's already given like this was bound to happen just based on his mannerisms and how he's carrying himself as a man. And I just looked at 2 seconds of it and I can just tell off the bat. So I don't know why people are surprised and blaming the CIA. I really feel like when it comes to certain black men, um, the default response is to blame the CIA. Oh, the CIA do this. And I'm not saying that they haven't had fault of doing stuff, but it's always the CIA. It's never accountability. They always have to push it on someone else. And if he's spreading words like, hey, we need to follow ourselves as humans instead of following God. Well, y'all can be just like those people in that Jim Jones cult where he took them people down to Ghana and they drunk that Kool-Aid and now they're gone. So that's what happens when you follow human beings. You're going to be in the dirt. So I'll land there. Thank you. I don't have a random topic to talk about just yet.
Okay, all right, I got you. Hey, Gabrielle, how you doing? You have something to say, sis?
Yeah, hey, so I think I came in like just like a few minutes ago, so I'm not totally up to speed, but like what happened with, I guess, like the first three, sorry.
Okay, so Krishan Rock, right? She was talking about like black, dark-skinned people. What did she say? She said you're supposed to go through what you're supposed to go through because you're dark. You're essentially cursed. I don't know why she would say something like that. Um, then I saw some old clips of her being like extremely colorist as well, talking about some black woman was ugly and like burnt or whatever. And So I was talking about her and the things that she had said. Then I was talking about Laverne Cox. And I don't know why people act like Laverne Cox is like unclockable. Laverne Cox looks like a big black man themselves as well. So I don't understand. Anybody looking at Laverne Cox would know that that is a man. But nonetheless, Laverne Cox and T.S. Madison was on a live pod stream, whatever, podcast talking about women, being called cisgender. They should be called cisgender because woman, I guess, is too broad of a term because that kind of like isolates women and stop using biological women. And then T.S. Madison was talking about how women were jealous of them because they're able to get the same men and sleep with the same men, that we're jealous deep down inside because we're sharing men. And I really wish that they would stop this. Like, y'all have penises. Like, anyway, and then they were talking about like not using the word biological because sex is something that's assigned to you. It's not something that you have to do. And the fact that they keep saying this stuff is really crazy. And then number 3, I was talking about Young Pharaoh. I don't know if you know who that is, but I know when a lot of black people were walking away from like religion and Christianity, which is fine if that's what you want to do. I just thought it was weird that people were walking away from Christianity talking about, oh, I can't believe in a God or believe in Jesus, but they will turn around and believe in a man. Some random dude off of YouTube that just starts saying stuff that isn't even true, but and now apparently he has something wrong with him, and he out here getting full sets, a full stiletto, extra large, XL length stiletto
Oh
nails,
no.
and now all the black people are talking about how the CIA got him, which is not true. And the coddling of black men is just really crazy. So yeah, that and then any random topic that you want to talk about for 5. Any random topic if you want to discuss something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So I do have thoughts. As far as number 1 goes, that's really bizarre. The idea that because we have dark skin that we're just quote unquote, I guess, supposed to suffer. Like, I don't even, that mentality, I do think that's really backwards and there's something wrong with that. As far as number 2 goes, I mean, I've seen Laverne Cox in a few movies. Like, I saw this person in, I think, the Inventing Anna series, and then this person was in Promising Young Woman. Like, so I've seen that person in a few things, but I mean, I do think the person, I'm saying the person intentionally, I do think the person is clockable. It's just like, for me, it's like the voice. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. It just, that individual does have a very deep voice, and so it's just that alone kind of gives it away. And as far as number 3 goes, I mean, yeah, I do think that's weird to, say that you're not going to be religious but then you're going to, I guess, join a cult, because it's like, I'm not religious. Like, I mean, I'm more spiritual, I'm agnostic. Like, I think every religion probably has a little bit of truth in it. I think that like every religion thinks that their religion is the right one, and that, everybody else's is wrong. Like, they all say that, and like, just from that logical standpoint, like, everybody can't be right. So I am agnostic, and so I don't think anybody knows everything about, how we got here, what comes after, all that stuff. But at the same time, I also wouldn't join a cult. Like, the same, kind of critical lens I have towards religion, I would say, okay, well, so like, how are you as a cult leader going to tell me anything? Like, what do you know that, that's supposed to just like, kind of make me follow you? So, I mean, I would just, I don't, it just seems like if someone is going to reject religion, then they would, not just go for a cult leader, because there kind of are some parallels between the two. But that's just my thoughts on number 3. And as far as number 4 goes, it's kind of probably ties into number 2, but I did see on TikTok a bunch of people talking about this podcast where I guess biological males calling themselves women were basically saying that they know more about womanhood than women. And there were even, I saw a lot of feminist accounts talking about it. Like, and these were, I guess, people who had been previously accepting of, I guess, the T community, but even they were saying that, between that and like the whole discourse about like, oh, are women bi phobic for not wanting to date bi men? It's like, basically they were just like calling out and saying, okay, it's time for women to like draw a line and say, okay, no, we're not gonna like let biological males say that they know more about what it means to be a woman. So I think that kind of probably ties into number two, but I did see I did see people on TikTok talking about that, and it was like kind of making the rounds on my FYP.
All right. I got you, Gabrielle. Appreciate you, sis. All right. Well, I'll just keep going because I got a person up here, and then we'll talk about all that stuff. You guys said you and Brown Sugar. Don't know. Go ahead. Don't know.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll address the topics. Krishan Rock is some type of delayed individual, and I feel like anything she says is irrelevant, because if you don't take care of your own, if you don't take care of yourself, then I mean, we honestly shouldn't even be paying attention to her. I hate that so many people now like have given her a platform when she's shown that her spiritual growth, quote unquote, is like it's an act. It's like it tries to save her image more so than her actually trying to, be a better person. I agree with Gabrielle. I am also not a religious person at all. So I don't like follow a set religion, but again, I do also believe that every religion, you can learn something from it. You can learn something from take something or take what you need. That's how I kind of like go about life. Take what you need and leave the rest alone. No matter who is the messenger. I'm sorry, my little baby's crawling around here. But no matter who is the messenger, if they're saying it, saying the right thing or saying something that, aligns with you or what you're going through, then I feel like, it's nothing wrong with it. As far as Pharaoh, I personally, I'm not gonna lie, like I used to listen to his videos and things like that. However, I've learned through other people like before Pharaoh that kind of came into that like Black conscious community before him. I have learned that, like I said, you just take what you need, take what resonates with you, and then just leave the rest alone. I don't necessarily think that Pharaoh had a cult. Now, I'm not saying he didn't have a cult following, but I'm saying I don't think he initially was like, because again, if you ever listen to like any of his videos or whatever, he always says, do your own research. Don't just listen to me, blah, blah, blah. He didn't necessarily like put you in the mindset of follow me, do what I say, do blah, 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 blah. And he has enlightened, I feel, a lot of people spiritually and or metaphysically, however you want to look at that. I do feel like he has done a good thing on that. But like I said, if we always put all of our faith into one person and expect this person to kind of like be godlike, we're always going to get disappointed. So I've learned to not do that. So, again, if somebody says something to me that like resonates with me or resonates with what I'm going through or, trying to figure out at that time, I'll just take what I need and leave the rest. And then the last random topic I think what Gabriella was touching on was I forgot, I think her name is like Drew a fella or something like that. She's like, she has a huge platform on her as well. And I used to follow her, but I feel like again, a lot of people are just performative when it comes to like trying to, once they reach a certain level, I feel like everything is like, okay, now you have to be extra careful of what you say. So many people will cancel you for having certain opinions, especially towards, I guess that like the LGBTQ or whatever community. You can't really say anything. And as a woman, I'm just going to say, I don't feel that trans women are women. I'm not saying that they don't have some type of femininity about themselves, because again, everybody has masculine and feminine energy. So again, if you want to align yourself more with the feminine part of yourself that you already have, okay, that's fine. But to try to erase women naturally and to say that you are what we are, I don't think that that's right. And because again, it just to me goes back to the misogynistic ideology of them being men and how men just automatically kind of mansplain things away, and it's like it has no truth to it. So I don't think that they are women. I don't think that we should be even again like really falling into that trap, because that's what I look at it. It's like they want to do mental gymnastics in the comments and say, oh, you know, it's not cosplaying. It's just like, if I dress up like a cat, I'm not a cat. No matter how hard I believe, no matter, you know, how many cans of cat food I eat, I'm still going to be a human being who believes that I'm a cat. So just leave it at that, and then I'll land.
Okay, all right, I got you. I mean, I'll just say, as far as some of the things that you said, like when you mentioned like Young Pharaoh, I'll just say I remember Young Pharaoh during his heyday when he was really on YouTube, and there was a lot of black people following his lead and listening to the things that he said. I never felt that he had any knowledge of anything. I always felt like he was a fool. I feel like a lot of black people and more specifically black women end up falling prey to black men that do performative spirituality and performative like knowledge, and half of it they pull out of their behind. Like, I look at Young Pharaoh just like I look at Nature Boy, and I think that this desire that black people have, it's not just black women, to look to black men as some type of authority or intellect on something, is really crazy and it's really damaging. Black men, and I say this as a person with a black husband, because he not like that. Black men have done nothing collectively for the black community in the last 50 years, have done nothing, created nothing, done nothing, made any strides or improvements of anything. So to really just look at some random Negro that starts a YouTube page and really think that he knows something, I fear for you. Because why would you do that? Like I said before, if you can't believe in certain things that have been in place for centuries, that have some type of backing on it, where you could have some type of proof of something, but you will believe a random man on YouTube, I just don't know what to say. And I really do feel like it's another black man, I forgot his name. He was on the Breakfast Club. He was talking about black empowerment and all of this stuff as well. Then he got caught trying to talk to somebody underage daughter, and also was out there with white girls. I can't remember his name though.
Brother Polite.
You said who?
His name was Brother Polite.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Brother Polite. It's so many of these black men that come out and do that because they know that the black community is just looking for a black man to have some type of sense or sound like something. And it's because the standards in the black community for black men are in the bottom of the barrel, in the gutter, in the trash can. And it's crazy that people will listen to people like Young Pharaoh, Nature Boy, Brother Polite, but then critique and criticize somebody like what's that doctor lady, Cheyenne Bryant, and say, oh, we need to see your qualifications. I know she's a biracial woman, but I need to find your qualifications, and be so mad and up in arms that you think that she's not qualified. But if it's a black man, y'all don't give a doggone, not y'all, of course, but I'm just saying the community doesn't care if the men have the qualifications. So I just feel like it's all sexist and stuff like that when it goes to that. And I just feel like black people in general, we have a problem with worship when it comes to black men, and it's never gonna end, because black women as a whole are deeply male-centered, even if they're not willing to admit it. Just automatically thinking, like, I don't even think most black men are spiritual at all, or even thinking that. I don't even think men are in general. Men even can't even show empathy for the most part. Like, and this isn't every man, but the majority of men can't even show empathy to not only each other, but also to women and children. So you think that they're going to give you some type of spiritual awakening? Like, I would be more impressed if black women were talking about black women that they believe that had some type of spiritual connection. But beyond that, then I wanted to talk about the trans woman thing. I just want to say, if you want to put on a wig and you want to put on lady clothing and you want to get fake boobs in there and you want to pretend and you want to cosplay as a woman, do that. Do that. If that's what you want to do, you have a right to do that. However, what you don't have a right to do is speak on womanhood and femininity. You don't. You have a Franks and Beans, and you'll always have Franks and Beans, and you're a man. I don't think that trans women specifically, in my opinion, have any femininity. I think they have zero. I would look at a regular male that's living his life as a male, a biological male, as having more of a feminine side than a trans woman. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because trans women's whole goal is to erase and destroy women, to take over womanhood. That's why you have all of these people over here talking about, oh, women, I know you're a woman, and I know you live life as a woman, and I know you have all of these experiences that you were born through. You have all of these also pains and things that happen to you strictly because you're a woman. But somehow I, a man, have a more connection to femininity than you. That's the most masculine thing that you can do. Try to come into a space that doesn't belong to you and dominate it and control it and oppress the people that are actually living the experience. That's the most masculine thing that you can do, because that's what, generally speaking, men do. So I feel like trans women don't have any femininity, none. Anything that you see them doing is purely performative, and none of it's real. This is just my opinion, though. And I think that's all I really had to say in response to what you're saying. But I mean, I definitely understood your perspective. Don't know. You gave me some things to think about for sure. Brown Sugar, you had something to say? Yeah, even them pretending to have menstrual cramps, which is so weird. I can't tell you how many things where I say, oh, I've seen them having debates where they say, oh, yeah, I actually do get cramps. How do you get cramps, sir? You have a dizzic. Like, you don't have a uterus. What are you talking about? Where are the cramps coming from? Oh, I actually do get a little flow. How? Your uterus is what's squeezing and pushing and contracting the blood out. How do you get that? That's what I'm saying. Completely insane. Lunatic behavior. Like, Looney Tunes. And the thing about it is this whole thing where they're constantly saying like, oh, yeah, we're sharing the same men. Straight men are always talking to me. No, they're not. Because if straight men see you and you pull your pants down and they see Franks and Beans there, those men are gay. Those aren't straight men. Straight men don't have intercourse with men. So I don't understand what it is. I think that a lot of trans women get off on feeling like they got something on a woman. And so if they can sleep with your man, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever, they can say, oh, well, I must be like her because he's willing to sleep with me. That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that. And I feel like when people have these conversations, they must not be educated on the true conversations that go on in the trans community. I've seen several trans women that have got, which most trans women don't get bottom surgery. But I've seen conversations with trans women that have it, and they have said that men no longer want to talk to them. Men no longer want to engage with them sexually because they don't have penises. And these were men that were saying that they like trans women. The reason why they're not getting no play like that is because at the end of the day, those men are gay. Period. Cause what do men that sleep with men do with each other? They sword fight. So if you don't have a sword no more and he don't want to talk to you, what does that tell you about the dynamics? Is that they're looking for men. Anyway, I don't know. I just feel like it's crazy that in 2026, we're literally having this conversation about whether men can be women and trying to figure out some way to call them women and to say that they have access to any type of womanhood or femininity. I don't even understand why we're having this conversation, because men don't have this conversation with trans men. They don't. Imagine trans men trying to come anywhere with men and try to say that they gonna tell them what masculinity is, that they got masculinity. They know about manhood. They know more about manhood than the men do. They get their teeth knocked out. And I think y'all know that. And the reason why the men are able to do or feel comfortable in doing that with us is because women just go with the flow, accept anything that men say, which is all the root of all of these issues. Women listen to men and taking what they say for face value, because you already know trans men not doing stuff like this. And ask yourself, why not? You have something to say, Brown Sugar?
Yeah, I wanted to say something about a random topic. You remember that lady you did a story on? I think we did a live about it. How she can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I
I'm
heard you like
sorry.
you got a phone call. Go ahead.
Yeah, my mother keep calling me. The lady went all the way down to Florida and unalived her baby daddy's girlfriend, mistress, whatever. She popped up on my TikTok feed, and I thought it was disturbing seeing her because she's showing how she made a Cookie Monster parfait, whatever they call it, doing her makeup and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I thought she was supposed to be getting punished. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why does she have access to social media? I see a lot of these inmates having access to social media, but it's just like I don't want to see her. Like, she did a crime, she's serving life. Not Ramika Meeks, that lady, she was from New York, flew all the way to Florida to unalive this lady in her apartment, jabbed her up multiple times, and the dude found her in the apartment. You remember that, Trig?
Yep.
Yeah, so she's on TikTok now showcasing her talents and all that other stuff. So, I mean, I just thought it was disturbing seeing her on there. Like, it's like she's not taking anything seriously for what she's done, how the harm she caused to that young lady, the young lady's family, her child, because she was pregnant then. I don't know if she had a child before, but it's just like, I thought they were supposed to be going to prison to rehabilitate, and it's just like they play around like, oh, they just doing time, but it's just like you literally unalive somebody and you got your makeup done and you talking about how you made a cookie monster parfait. Like, it's like nobody gives a f, like you literally took somebody off of this earth for no reason. So I just wanted to share that.
Hey, Brown Sugar, I looked it up. It says it. I mean, she got sentenced to life in prison without parole. So, she ain't never getting out. So I think, maybe she's just doing what she got to do to exist in the life that's now hers. Not that you're wrong about anything that you said. You're totally right, because that is crazy. And I don't know who would want to watch anything that she's doing, seeing as though she's an unaliver. But she not getting out though.
Yeah,
Um,
I know, and I agree with you. I mean, of course, you got to do something to make the time pass, but it's just like, why they got to be on social media? Like, talk amongst each other, join a group. Like, why do they get access to being on the internet? I thought that was a no go. I'm seeing so many inmates on my timeline, and I just think that it should be something that shouldn't be allowed. Like, I'm not saying that it can't happen because I guess the correctional guards can't do their job 24/7, but it's just like I think that's a big no in my personal opinion. They shouldn't be on any type of social media.
oh yeah, I mean, I totally get what you're saying, Brown Sugar, for sure. Hey, how you doing, Miss Chrissy? All right, let me go next up here to Gabrielle, and then we'll go down here to Hated in Silence. And sorry, sis, if I send a request for your camera, you don't have to turn it on. I think I accidentally hit that. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah. I just have like a quick question. How is someone from prison able to get on TikTok? Because I mean, like, obviously, I've seen the movies where it's like, the inmates get a cell phone, they do like a favor for like corrupt guards. But like, I always thought that was, just like in the movies. But how can she stream or posts from TikTok and just I mean, I'm sorry, from prison, like on TikTok? Like, how does that even work? Like, like an actual inmate in a cell or behind the bars or whatever. Like, how does that work? So like the guards just let them do it, or like I'm just curious because
Can I
I've
answer
never
that,
heard of
Trey?
that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So they already have tablets where they can text people. You have to pay for them to have tablets. I don't know if she's on a tablet or she snuck a phone in or whatever, but they're not supposed to have phones. That's contraband. But if they have Wi-Fi or whatever, however they hook it up in there and they sneak a phone, they can make a profile and start live streaming on TikTok. I've seen dudes out, like, I guess when they're out of their cells, they're doing push-up.
I didn't know
They're
that.
even
That's insane. Wow.
they're even blasting music and stuff like that. So I don't know what goes on behind the doors, but they do have tablets where they're able to text and FaceTime and stuff like that.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, from what I can, well, for one, I've not. I don't know if it would mean anything, but I've been doing corrections for 19 years now in the state of Florida. That same girl you guys are speaking about, I worked in her unit in Broward County for pretty much my whole career in Broward, because she was there for maybe 3 or 4 years, and she had her baby at one jail, because the jail, when she came, she was pregnant. The jail I worked at, she could not be there because we don't house pregnant females. So after she gave birth, she was transferred over to my jail. When she went off to prison, the prison that she's at, well, all the prisons in Florida, they have visitation through the kiosk. So what she's doing, from what I can see, is the person who she's visiting with, they're recording the visit from their end, and then they're posting it. Because if you can see, she has a receiver to her ear, like a big black receiver, like a payphone. That's the visitation, the JPay visitation kiosk. So they're recording her from their end, and then they're posting it.
Okay.
Can I ask you something, sis? I thought when you even go into a prison that you're not even supposed to have your phone on you.
What you mean? No, they don't. They're visiting from home.
Oh, I got you. I'm sorry. I'm confused. I
Yeah,
thought it
they're
was in
visiting
person.
from home. Yeah, they stay
Got
home.
you.
They schedule the visit. They download the Securus app to their phone. No, the JPay app. And actually, I think JPay and Securus merge. I'm not sure how the prison is doing it, but the county does Securus. And they download the app, and they add the person to their account, the inmate, and so they schedule the visits. And the inmate log in on their end at the prison, and the person log in from home, and they have the visit long distance like that, where they never have to go to the prison. And so that's how they're able to record the visits, and that's how she's able to do what she's doing. That's how YNW Melly was able to do some of the stuff he was doing. That's how that boy, that I don't know if you guys know who, it was a few years back, he sang that song Back Page, shake the bed bugs off, whatever. He be on here a lot too, doing a lot of dancing. He got out, but he used to do a lot of videos on here as well. When he was in prison in Florida, they did it the same way. Whoever he would schedule his visits with, they would just record him from their end and then post it online. But she's not recording from a phone or a tablet. They're just recording her from their end.
All
And
right.
that's just how she's doing it for now. But they do, as far as the men, because one thing about the women, they're very simple, very basic. They would do things for maybe alcohol, drugs, rugs, the devil juice, and then the maybe some cigarettes and makeup, because they like to look pretty, and maybe some food that they won't have access to while incarcerated. But they're not doing, they won't get a cell phone, they won't get cash money. They're very basic, very simple. The men, on the other hand, male inmates, they're gonna get the cell phones, they're gonna get the cash money. They trying to live like they outside. The girls, they not doing all that. So you won't hardly catch a female inmate with a cell phone. The men, yes. So when you see the men on TikTok talking to you, and they interacting and they dancing, they doing push-ups, they're on live with an actual phone, and that is contraband. That is illegal. And a lot of times those guards be afraid of those men. They be big gang members. Those guards don't want no problems. They just pretend like they don't see it, and they keep going.
All right. I got you, sis. All right, let me go next up here to Kalandra. Kalandra, you have something to say, sis?
Can you explain the topics and then I'm gonna give my opinion?
Yeah,
It was
number
1
one.
and 3.
Yeah, Krishan was talking about how she was like, basically, if you're black, you're cursed, and you're supposed to go through some type of craziness being dark skinned. And then I seen some old clips that people were putting with that, of her calling people black and ugly and they're dark skinned and stuff like that. And then just talking about young Pharaoh and how people were saying the CIA got him and MK Ultra and all this stuff, and how people are coddling him and trying to give some type of reason for his bad behavior and his craziness. And they never do that for black women. Never try to make excuses or see why somebody could be doing something. And yeah, and then Laverne Cox and T.S. Madison, they was on the live talking about women shouldn't use the term biological, and just, the same old stuff, trying to act like because they're able to get some butt shots, back shots somewhere by some DL dude, that means that they are on the same level as a woman, which is really disgusting. Hey, thanks so much. I'm coming clean. Hey, how you doing? But yeah, that was it.
Oh, okay. Krishan Rock. Oh, I'm sick of her. She is something really wrong with that girl. She's a prime example of why I feel like people should not make people famous, because I feel like it's a lights home but nobody home situation with her. Let me see. I don't know who Young Pharaoh is. Number 2, Laverne Cox and T.S. Madison. You said T.S. Madison. I just feel like they just say stuff, and I feel like they're protected. But I haven't been seeing them on my page. I think I had them blocked, but I have been seeing a lot of the discourse about that comment from that Equi girl, and I saw a video response, and she got tore up in them comments. But I think a lot of women that do support T men, I think they're male centered, because like some of their responses I saw, like I be listening to some of these lives, and they was like, well, they understood. Let me see what somebody says. I heard a comment where someone said they understood womanhood better because they don't do it for male gaze. And that's what a woman said about them. And I was just like, yeah, y'all male centered for real. And a random topic. I don't know if you saw that video I sent you, triggered, about why this woman said that she was male centered and why she got cut off because she was male centered. And then I had saw a live where like a bunch of women had got up there and said, what's wrong with being a pick me? Because they want a man, they desire to be married, and they don't want to be alone. And so I just kind of thought that they were like embracing being a pygmy. And I kind of wanted to know like your thoughts on that.
That's crazy. I mean, I think that women gotta know that you don't have to be a pick me to have a man. At least not a good man, you don't have to. But the problem is that there are so many women that are in relationships with bad men that will tell women that the way to get a man is to be male centered, not knowing that those women behind the scenes are going through all type of stuff. Because, and this is just my opinion, I feel like the more male centered you are, the more of a pick me you are, you will attract the worst possible men of all time. Really. If you unpack that, male centeredness, pick meism, all of that, you have a better chance on finding a man that is not like that. Because if you're not like that and you really have your own mind and thoughts, you're going to attract the man that isn't threatened by that. But if you are giving out the what is it, Coming to America vibes, when the lady was standing on one leg and was barking, that's who you're going to get. You're going to get somebody that's going to treat you just like that. And I know quite a few women that are like me, that are, I guess they would be considered radical feminists or whatever, that are in relationships with men, and they men don't be giving them no problems. But once again, that's because that's the type of men you're going to attract when you're not like that. If you act like that, then you're going to get the men that are. So I wish more women would understand that, because all of the men, yeah, just like Miss Chrissy Baby said, man haters usually have a great man if they're in a relationship. All of the so-called like popular man haters that I know that are black women have men that don't be giving them no problems. Y'all can take that information as you see it, because in my opinion, men are supposed to be the ones that are supposed to be giving. Not saying that you're not supposed to share anything, reciprocate anything back for your man. But when you have a certain type of energy, yeah, you're just going to attract something that you don't want. And I really, really, truly, truly do believe that. I've just seen it so much in real time. And I think that's another reason why some women can't comprehend that a man can be like that, because you're putting out the energy of, let me not say that. I one day I'll put something in words, like a word for maybe like a short book or something about that, because me too, Miss Chrissy baby, I see this in my real life, not no online stuff. Even when I was growing up, the women that did not play with men, those were the ones that had the men that was willing to do anything for them. The women that were willing to, oh, let me put your do-rag on and tie it, cater to you, Destiny's Child style. Those were the women that was getting drugged for filth. Like, so there's something to it. I think men need that dynamic. I don't think you can ever be too nice to a man. Like, you could be nice to a man, but he always got to know in the back of his mind that you not playing with him. But that's just my opinion. Like, I really do believe that. And I've lived it. And I really do think that that's the way to go. But hey, some people might agree, some people don't. But if you don't agree, you just don't know. All right, let me go next up here to Navi. Go ahead, Navi.
Hey, ladies. But yeah, Trick, you right, because me and my man hate men together. As for Krishan's talking points, I feel like I've heard them before from like a racist white preacher that brown skin or dark skin is a cursed skin. My issue with it is, if you're going to be this heavy Bible thumper and go by racist white talking points, baby, you need to also speak on your son, because those people also believed that any problems with anybody was caused by the devil. Like, it kind of blows my mind that she can get up here with how slow she is and say these talking points as if your career was not created by dark-skinned women. As for TS and Laverne, I'm tired of talking about men with wigs on. That's just not a topic for me no more.
I got you. All right, let me go next up here to Barbie. Go ahead, Barbie.
Good morning.
Hey.
I'm so glad that I clicked on your live again, because I did want to talk about I guess number 2, the men with the wigs on, because I have a real time thing happening in my life. So I quit my job yesterday, and I work in an industry. I hold a professional license, and I quit my job yesterday, and I work in a profession where we help people, all kind of people. And about 9 months ago, my job, and this has been a conversation we've been having over the past 3 or 4 years, I'd say, the state has been having about transgender people accessing services with the women. I have always voted against it, because I always felt that women getting services for the things that women are getting services for, I didn't feel that transgender people could identify with the things women were getting services for. But my job went ahead and did it anyway. They allowed transgender people to access services on the women's side. And I ran a whole program for women, and we were to allow transgender people to access those same services. And some of the ladies, quite a few of the women there, had issue with it. And so I'm going back and forth, like with the state, or like with the mayor, or like with my boss, about the women's concern. And I was getting very upset, because it was like, well, they have to deal with it. And, even myself, I'm looking at a 6'4" man saying he's a woman, makeup's nice, hair's nice, but your hands are big as bricks. I'm not making fun of them, but this is just what I'm looking at. And you're saying that you're a woman and you've been molested and you've had, or whatever, I'm not sure the right word. You just had these things happen to you, and it's not the same as women. It's not the same. And I was just basically told, which I had to end up tell my staff, who had to tell the clients, there's nothing we could do to help them. And I just really felt kind of, very betrayed by that, because a lot of the women were afraid. They didn't know, particularly some of the people hadn't like actually transitioned, so they still had their manly aesthetic, I guess, for lack of better words. And it just got really bad. The women clients were leaving. The women clients were, getting into fights with some of the transgender, where it took a couple of us to have to get the transgender person off this woman because they're like so big and so, so muscular. So I just eventually ended up just leaving my job, because I felt like I was doing a disservice to the women who were saying like, hey, we're not okay with this, but they didn't get a say in it. The funding partners said transgender people, trans women are allowed on the women's side, and it just caused so much trouble, but so much detriment to the women, to the biological women who were already there trying to get their kids back, dealing with so many certain things. And the transgender women, they did have issues. They had been assaulted for being transgender, and they definitely have issues for sure. Not going to take that away from them, but to place them in a closed setting with other women, I just saw it do more harm than good. And I wrote this really long letter to my CEO about the reason why that I was leaving. And they did try to get me to stay, to try to create some kind of system, but there couldn't be a system created as long as women were being ignored. And that's kind of where I looked at it. It's misogyny. You're ignoring. I have 15 women telling me that they don't feel comfortable, and you're telling me, so what? They can go home. And so I just had ended up quitting my job yesterday because of that. I just find it really disturbing just how little women, we're kind of like just being cast aside. And I feel really bad for women who have experienced things that transgender people are not going to understand, because it hits different for us women. And I hate that I had to leave, but I had to leave because it just really bothered me as a person holding a license who's supposed to help everyone. I just had a very difficult time helping these people who I felt were barging their way into services, and then, I'll beat you up if you don't like it. So I'm just kind of glad you were talking about this topic, and I just opened up my phone and you were here, because I'm still very upset about, I've been at that job for 8 years, and I'm just still very upset about it. I didn't even sleep last night because it was just messed up. And I'm just venting that, how I feel.
Oh wow. Like I appreciate you, Barbie, for opening up and sharing. And I'm so sorry that you had to leave your job. And I think that's just so terrible. And I definitely understand everything that you're saying. That's the reason why I've decided to start talking about it. And when you were talking, I forgot to say that in this Laverne Cox and T.S. Madison interview, they also said that women rely too much on them being SA'd. Women think that being SA'd is a part of the womanhood experience, and they try to exclude trans women because of it. And I actually thought that was disgusting as well, because that is part of the experience of being a woman. Anywhere where you're at, all the time, you have to worry about some man trying to grape you, touch on you, do something to you. Girls learn that from the very beginning, especially in other countries. I just read this story about an Indian woman who lost her husband at 20 years old and lived her life for the past 32 years as a man, because she realized after her husband passed away that men were trying to grape her, do things to her, and she felt like she could protect her child, which was also a girl, better if she pretended to be a man. They had all of these pictures of her with this male clothing on, and she said that she never was victimized again after doing that. It is a part of womanhood. It's a part of girlhood, okay? And I feel like to hear men, trans women, which are men with wigs on, say stuff like this is crazy. And even with the backlash that, what's that lady that got the platform, the Drew, a follower, whatever, that podcast that she did with the super stud, and they were saying the same things. oh, we think that women are rely too much on their essay and things that happen to them. Like, are you okay? Why would you say something like that? Because I remember this was a long time ago. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but this was on Oprah. Like, I'm talking about, I want to say I was a teenager at the time, and Oprah was having a show or whatever, and it was a girl that was a survivor on I think it was a boat or a cruise ship or something that had like was in the process of sinking, and the people had to like get in the water to survive. And the men that, now keep in mind, people are in the water thinking that they may live or they may pass away. And men were trying to grape the women that were in the water. They all in the water and the men are trying to grape the women in there. So let's be clear here. This is a real thing. It's a real thing about men doing things like this. You know what I'm saying? So I just find it to be disgusting. I think I already told this story about my first husband. His uncle invited me over there because he had like a studio in his basement or whatever, and he wanted me to, because I used to rap back in the day. He wanted me to like do some or a rap, and him and another man was down there, and they tried to roofie me. And I think y'all already know what their plans were for me after they roofied me, because when I came down there, they had corn playing on the TV. And I was taken aback by that, because I'm just like, and I was inexperienced. I didn't know what to do about this. And I was sitting down there, and they sure did try to roofie me for sure. Like, I'm about to go through the whole story again. I've told this story before a long time ago, but this is something that men do. And keep in mind, I'm your nephew. At this time, I was his nephew's wife. And you're so much of a predator that you're trying to grate me with a friend of yours. And I found out about this only because after I was able to get out of the situation, because he kept giving me the drink and asking me to drink it over and over again. And I was like, oh no, because something didn't feel right. And I know that was God, because the minute he handed it to me, I just got this whole, like, I don't know, conviction over myself. Like, don't drink this. If you drink this, like, you're in severe, serious danger. Something's going to happen to you. So I put it down. And he's like, oh, I just really want you to taste it. I just really did a good job. Because he had a wet bar down there. And it's a wet bar. You couldn't see, like, if somebody, how they was making it, because it was such a big wet bar. And I told him, like, oh, my stomach hurt, and oh, I just wasn't in the mood to drink it, but I would drink it. I ended up telling him I had to go out to the car to get something, and then I drove off. But then when I had told my husband at the time, he's long gone, okay, he was upset at me and said, oh, he's done this to plenty of other women. Like, he's graped them. He has rolled up blunts for them and put other stuff in it and all of this other stuff. And I'm telling him, like, well, why in the world would you ever have me over this man's house if you knew he was that type of person? I didn't know. He's talking about I didn't think you'd ever be over there by yourself. It doesn't matter if I was over there by myself or with you. I don't want to be around nobody like that at all. But anyway, yeah, I mean, all I'm saying is that definitely that is something that all women have to worry about. I think all women have to worry about protecting themselves in some type of way from a man doing something to them on a sexual level. That's the truth. And the fact that trans women and also male-centered biological women that are enemies to women, because make no mistake about it, Drew or Follow, whatever her name is, she is an enemy to women, period. There are women like that want to become, how can you become a feminist by centering men? I don't care if they have a wig on or not. That's the most asinine, insane ideology in the world. You mean to tell me that you're a feminist, which is for the rights of women, but you are putting men, biological men that have penises first. You're telling women, oh, just suck it up. Suck it up. Who cares about what you say? I care more about trans women. Do you? You mean you care more about men? Oh, that's because you're male-centered. That's what it is at the end of the day. And women like that, You can't trust them. You can't. They'll be the same ones. If anybody's ever seen A Handmaid's Tale, they'll be the ones holding down your legs, and arms. Why? You know what? That's what they'll be doing. That's why I don't trust none of these women that are pro trans at all. Pro this, pro. Get away from me. Get away from me. You're an enemy. But once again though, I don't want to make it about me, but I just want to say I really am sorry, Barbie. I really am sorry for you. I really am. Cause I know how it feels to be able to help people. And I'm sure you, yeah. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, it really is, and I just really feel sorry for it. And what I have seen, or what I'm seeing, and I'm assuming if it's happening at my place or my old job, it might be happening across the board. Is just the lack of respect and the lack of listening to women. My boss and I, and even our, just the upper staff, I'm showing them letters that the clients have written, and they're saying how uncomfortable they are, how they're not sleeping at night because they were allowed to bed with the other women. They were on my side, and I had all the women. I had like 100 women, and maybe 14, 15 trans women, and they kind of like dominated my area. Not dominate me, not when I came on, but just I'm saying just dominated just the area, and just the lack of the voice that the women had. And then that's what angered me the most, is like, well, what are we going to do with the women who are saying they're uncomfortable, they're afraid, they don't feel right? When I would facilitate groups and the trans women would talk about things, it just doesn't hit the same as when the women speak. So you either have to pretend and go along with them because you don't want to infringe on their rights, or like some of my clients would, they would buck up and we would just have all these issues. But just really the lack of respect for us women who were saying like, hey, this isn't okay, and no one asked them. There wasn't like a memo given. I wasn't even allowed to have like a conversation with some of the women or my staff until it happened, until one enrolled. And then I was like, oh, we're accepting trans women. Oh, they're sleeping with the women. Oh, I didn't know we were doing this now. And so that's how it was introduced to me. But just really the lack of respect for women and their feelings is what really angered me the most, because I felt helpless to help the ladies.
I totally understand. I mean, I think that's what's going on right now everywhere. Go ahead, Navi.
I think the dismissal of women's opinions is what irritates me the most, and how they don't see that themselves. When women say, oh yeah, well, I'm not comfortable with you as a male coming into these kind of homes or my restrooms, just like a man will do, they will, what is the word? They will take away from how you're feeling and say, oh, well, me as a trans woman, I get abused too. I get this too. I deserve this too. That's not what this is about, babe. Why is it that, why not come up with your own spaces? Why do you have to be in women's spaces? I just don't understand that.
I mean, I feel like the push to be in women's spaces is because if they can be in women's spaces, they can pretend that they are on the same level as women. And if they can get women to be silent about everything, then they can start their process of, just like Noemily said, erasure and appropriation. Me personally, I look at trans women the same way I look at white tea women that wear box braids and boho knotless and lace wigs with the baby hairs and talking to black scent. Their whole goal is to appropriate and take inspiration from black women while pretending that they don't know where they got it from, by looking down on the very people that they got their whole image from. That's exactly how I look at trans women, as appropriators, because that's exactly what they are. Because once again, if sex and gender are two different things, if gender is a social construct or whatever, then why in the world do you have to get titties? Since being a woman is just anything and anybody can be a woman, why do you have to get boobs? Why do you have to wear wigs? Why do you have to get hormones? Why taking hormones are not even healthy for people. Women that are biological women that go through perimenopause or menopause that get on hormones, hormones can make them sick and they're actually supposed to be in possession of estrogen. You know what I'm saying? So you're taking things that you're not even supposed to have in that amount inside of your body for what? To do what? So that your voice can get a little higher, so that you can look a little bit more feminine. If none of that means nothing, then why are you doing it? Why don't you keep your 5 o'clock shadow and keep no boobs and keep no nails and do all of this? The reason why is because all of that stuff that they say is lies. It's all lies, and it's a big mind. I can't say the word, but it's a big mind F you, if you get what I'm saying. That's what it is. Because and in my opinion, and this is, I truly feel like it makes no logical sense at all on any level. But the reason why people are able to believe it and believe it so wholeheartedly, even though it's completely illogical, is because I truly believe that you become possessed with a spirit of whatever. I don't know what type of name to put on it, but it's something. And once that takes a hold of you, you can no longer think logically and reasonably. And I promise you, when I see people talk about this, the people that are really for trans women, they have a look in their eye that is terrifying to me. And I
Crazy.
believe they are possessed with something demonic. And I don't care. I'm never going to take this back. It's some type of spirit of demonism that they are possessed with, period. The same way when you see, like, when people, and I'm not saying that everybody that's part of the LGBTQ community likes kids or anything like that, because I don't believe that. I believe that there are GAY men and GAY women that would never touch kids, never do anything with kids. I totally believe that. However, I think that there are a lot of G men, more specifically, also some G women, but more G men that are into children, into a whole bunch of perversion, and I think that's also a spirit. The same way with them. But I don't think people are really ready to have these conversations because it's not politically correct. But Gabrielle, you have something to say, and then I'll go up here to Navi.
Yeah, I think you actually might be onto something when you mentioned the possession thing. Because, like I said, I'm not religious, but I am spiritual. I do believe that there are, things that we cannot see, like spiritually. And like I just was remembering, I think it was the last live I was on. It was either the last live I was on or the one before that. But there was this lady who came up. I don't remember her name, and you kept asking her, "What is a woman?" And she was saying everything. She was talking about her tribe in some other country, and like she just could not answer the question. She was talking about an emotion and a feeling, and it was kind of surreal just sitting there like hearing, like it was almost like she genuinely didn't understand. And it's like, even when you dropped her, I saw her in the comments and she seemed genuinely surprised. Like there seemed to be some like real disconnect. So like I do think you could be like I know some people probably might think, oh, you're being hyperbolic, but no, like seriously, I do think you could be onto something when you mention that at least some of these people who refuse to acknowledge that a woman is quite simply an adult human female, like just biologically speaking, and people who will just say like, oh, biological males who identify as women can get cramps and periods, people who actually believe that and will and try to argue you down on it, I do think you could be onto something. Because I'm just thinking of that lady who came up here, and like for me, I could not. I was really in shock just like listening to her. Like you asked her, I think like 4 times, and she was saying everything but your answer, and she did not understand why you got fed up with her and just dropped her off the panel.
Yeah, I remember that, Gabrielle. She was wilding. And even when she finally gave me an answer about what being a woman was, she said it was having a baby in her tribe. And then I was like, well, who can have babies? The only people that can have babies are biological women. Are you dumb? What's wrong with you? She was crazy, man. Navi, you had something to say, sis?
Yeah, it was you had said that it doesn't make that the ideology doesn't make logical sense. I agree with that, along with the fact that it doesn't make sense to them either. For example,
I think it was you, Trick, who mentioned it earlier. Not even half of them have bottom surgeries. That's a pretty big percentage. Not even half. If you truly feel like this is something you want to do, you would have been got it out of the way. Money wouldn't have been an issue. I don't think y'all actually believe it, because half of y'all still walk around with mustaches. You ain't got no wig on, you got a boy haircut, yet you out here claiming that you could take something from me. I just don't believe they believe it either. I truly believe this is just men playing some kind of joke and some kind of scheme to take over and erase women.
I just looked it up. It says here on Google that approximately 5% of transgender women have undergone bottom surgery.
Boom.
Such as vaginoplasty, labiaplasty, or orchiotomy. So that means 95% of the trans women you see have penises. And that be the stuff that I be talking about. But I told y'all earlier, I don't know if Navi was here, that there was a trans woman. She is on he is on TikTok or whatever. And I said she because if I saw this trans woman, I would never know that they were a trans woman. And it's a extremely dark skinned trans woman, and they are very attractive as well, and got like huge gigantic boobs, like I don't know, like maybe like a 42 DDD. I'm talking about huge. And they were talking about the fact that they had bottom surgery and that none of the men want to talk to them anymore. That they said that they have to go there when they're talking on like apps and stuff. They like dread like saying, "Hey, I have had bottom surgery," because the men no longer are interested. And so that's my whole thing, is that y'all know that the majority of these men that are talking to y'all only want y'all because y'all have a penis, and it's a kink because women don't have penises. They don't. So y'all already know what the deal is. And it's like y'all can lie to everybody else and get people to sit there and act like y'all not lying, but I'm not going to do it. I refuse to do it. Like, I refuse to call T.S. Madison a woman. Like, when your anus is online to be looked up. Like, you're junk. Ugh. And it looks so wild. Yeah. That's what I don't understand. You want me to really act like you're a woman? Women don't have to use their backsides for penetration. They don't have to do that. So why in the world am I looking at you like you're like me because you decided to put a wig on and get a full set? Sir, no. And I really wish one day I could debate T.S. Madison specifically, because T.S. Madison says so many things that are so stupid and disrespectful, and he's never challenged on it. The same thing with Jason Lee. Jason Lee literally said on his podcast that a trans woman can be a better woman than a woman. A GAY man saying that, and nobody gave him pushback. People just let these men say whatever they want to. I seen another clip of a G man saying that women don't have the ownership over womanhood. Well, if women don't own womanhood, then who does, Goofy? And it's just like they're able to say these things, but if you say anything about them, then now you're phobic. Now you're the worst person. Like I said, right now I'm not respecting none of them. I'm not respecting the G men. I'm not respecting the bi men. I'm not respecting the T women. None of them. They can all get lost, if you ask me. Every last one of them, because they always on BS, and I don't respect it. Now, if you're not like that, then that's something different. But if you are, I don't respect you. Aspira, you have something to say?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, about like, cause I've been seeing it all over social media with the whole trans thing, and like one thing that is like that, how to say, like with these people is they don't acknowledge like it, because like sometimes I'm thinking like, dang, are like a lot of them, are they just ignorant? Like I don't get how like they lack so much critical thinking when it comes to this gender conversation. Because first, gender, as most of everybody's already knowing, it's a social construct. It's not going to be exactly the same in different societies.
Gender is not a social construct.
It's a social construct. Sex is the biological. Gender is how the role society will assign to
Yes,
either
that's feminine.
sex.
You guys are getting woman and man mixed, confused with feminine and masculine. Those are social constructs.
No. Feminine does fall under gender. You have to understand. Sex is when we're talking about male and female. Gender is when we're talking about, okay, these are the roles that are going to be assigned to women. These are the roles that are going to be assigned to men.
Yes,
In the
feminine
society.
and masculine, not woman and man. Woman
I'm
is
not talking about
associated
woman
with
and
female.
man. But as you're bringing that up, in our society, because I'm assuming most of us who are speaking on this panel, we live in America. In our society, when it comes to gender, they really do not like, how would I say it, try to make some separation from woman and man. They give it that name.
All right, a spirit.
Because
Let me ask you a question. A spirit. Let me ask you a question. This is the thing that I be wanting to ask people when they say that sex and gender are not the same thing. If sex and gender are not the same thing, then why do trans women have to do bottom surgery? Why do they have to get breasts? Why do they have to wear wigs? Why do they have to get facial feminization surgery? Why do they have to wear the nails? Why do they have to speak in a certain tone, try to, lift up their voice, shave down their Adam's apple? Why are they doing things that are stereotypically connected with women? I think that I'm not saying that, I know that there are women and men and that have different interests. You got tomboy women, you got men that might like to do certain things. Like, you got, what is those guys, the bronies, the men that like My Little Pony and they're really into it. So that's not typically something that men usually do. But I think all of that also is based in erasure, because there are a lot of things that we could put under that umbrella that women, generally speaking, have a more predisposition to doing. It doesn't mean that the woman has to do it, but it means that women normally are into certain things that leaning towards certain type of behaviors or type of activities or whatever. And I really think that is also where we started off with allowing these men to erase women by saying that, because that opened the door for them to mute everything, to mess everything up, which is exactly what's happening right now. You have grown men like T.S. Madison, Cherry the Boom, whatever, Laverne Cox, and a whole bunch of other men are able to come in and say, oh, we're women, because we opened the door with that one thing.
Okay, what I'm trying to say, and this is an issue I've been having since elementary school, since a young girl, because when people would be like gender, I say, please don't say gender, say sex instead, because I had a feeling we were going to, as you're speaking, as what you're saying, how, certain women are kind of a decent amount, or kind of we're kind of, I think you were probably say inclined to certain behaviors, and how the trans women have took advantage of that. That's why for me, I don't really like to say gender. And an example I would give because I feel like in a way, because we have in a way blended gender and sex, like you can just recklessly use it interchangeably. An example I will give is like, if you pay attention to some ancient societies like China or the Ottoman Empire, when they would get some men and they would make them eunuchs. Eunuch, when you really understand gender, eunuch is a gender. They are a group of men, their role set by society. You're not going to reproduce. You're going to protect.
They're still men. You being able
men,
to
but, listen.
You listen. You listen. Let me tell you something. A eunuch is still a man. Somebody not being able to reproduce does not change their biological sex. A woman that can have kids, or a woman that has to get her uterus removed or her ovaries removed because of fibroids or something like that, is still a woman. And I think that, once again, all of this stuff is rooted in being able to erase women. Because when you talk about gender and identity, when you hear people say, I feel like a woman. So that's the only reason why people are now saying that gender and sex is not the same, so that people can say they feel like a woman. What the heck is feeling like a woman if you're not a woman? What is that? If you don't have XX chromosomes, what in the world do you feel like? You don't feel like it. You feel like a man. You feel what you do is you see women and you want to be that. And so now you're saying you feel like you want to be that. Once again, these things are rooted in the erasure of women. For me personally, you don't ever even got to talk about gender. You can just talk about sex. What do your chromosomes say? Are you an XX or are you an XY? Then we can get to the bottom of it. Anything else that we're talking about is fluff. And it's meant to go into womanhood because once again, men, XYs are not allowing trans men to come and do none of that. There ain't no men gonna have no platform where they let trans men come in here and say, well, I feel like I'm a man today. I feel like I'm a man. I'm going to come in here and tell y'all what being a man and manhood is. Men are never going to allow it. The only people that allow this type of goofy talk are women. And I just want any woman that's listening to this to know, if you are a woman and you truly believe that sex and gender are different, that you believe that somebody can feel like they're a woman, you are a tool being used by men for the patriarchy. That's what
But
you
I
are.
don't
You're the
believe that.
biggest sellout. You're the biggest male-centered. You're the biggest pick-me. You're the biggest enemy to women of all time. And frankly, I wish that women that believe this, we could really kick y'all out of womanhood. Good, y'all could be something else. Not a man, not a woman. I don't care what you want to be. I wish we could literally remove you from womanhood, where you wouldn't get any of the benefits of being a woman, which is being empathetic, being kind, being intelligent, being detail-oriented, and a whole bunch of other things that women, generally speaking, have. I wish we could remove you from all of it, and you would have nothing. I really do. I really want y'all gone. Because y'all are a tool of violence that is being used against other women. Literally, you are the men's attack dog. And the fact that so many of y'all don't understand that is exactly your goal and purpose and what you're being used as is sad. It's sad. It's sad.
And I
But
agree
I'm
with
gonna
what
let you
you're
respond back.
saying.
What?
I said I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is that you have to understand, because I'm noticing people yes, they work to, in a way they work together, sex and gender, but sex is a biological material reality. Gender is, as I said, is a social construct, is bendable by different societies. You're going to have some societies that have more than two genders. We live in a society that way they structure gender in our society is really mostly focused on the two sexes. Yes, there's only two sexes amongst the human race. I want people to, when we start making the distinct separation, then we can really have a proper way to fight back against this. Because you have to understand. I saw many of us, we saw the trans progression. They first, in a way, especially in the 2000s, they called themselves transsexual. But now, currently, they're saying transgender because they understand people kept blurring the lines of gender and sex. And this is what's giving them a foothold. You have to recognize, you have to study other societies and recognize how gender has operated in the society. That's why I gave an example of the eunuch. Yes, he is still a male, but in the society where they had castrated him, he has certain roles that are different from other groups of men. He has been relegated to a certain gender, assigned to the male sex. He is a eunuch. That is what I'm trying to say. When you genuinely understand gender, then we have a better way to fight back against this. We need to stop blurring the lines of gender and sex.
Can I say
All
something?
right, sorry about that. Yeah, just do a real quick brown sugar because I gotta go up to the person that was at the top.
Oh, let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
Okay, and then I'll go to you. Bye bird, you there? Bye bird, bye birdie or whatever. You there? Well, they on teacup, but I thought they might come back if they heard me talking. You there? Okay, yeah, go ahead, BB. You there? Oh shoot, I accidentally followed you. Go
Hey.
ahead.
Hi everyone. I really love like your channel. I've always watched it. This whole like transgender debate, especially when it comes to being a Black woman, there is erasure. Because I actually want to be a sociologist. I want to publish a paper talking about how negrophilia is a lot of the motivations for queer POC people. How, like, as soon as they get some type of self-esteem, now they're rolling their neck like us, now they're playing this like costume. And I feel like to a certain extent, one can say it's harmful to be bioessentialist, but as Black women, truly the birthers of the world, and we do understand that, yes, these people are trying to be like us. We should see them as, to a certain extent, tethers. And how, especially when talking about the real world and understanding how uneducated queer people act, uneducated POC people act in interaction with Black women, it is definitely extractive. So I do understand there's a certain amount of frustration. I do understand there is a certain amount of built up resentment because, I mean, like, Black women, especially African American, because I'm African American, we are perpetually gaslit. And it gets exhausting. So that's where I'm going to land my plane.
All right. Brown Sugar, you had something to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say something. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to say that the lady that we're talking to right now, she is very demonic, and she's an agent of chaos. For you to come up here with a panel full of women and try to tell us what sex is versus gender and all this other stuff, I feel like it's extremely male centered of for her to say that, and for her to be a woman is very disgusting. And I always go back to thinking about children, biological female children that have to grow up to hear this nonsense, and it coming from other women who are supposed to provide some type of guidance to them. And these are type of women that are dangerous to other women and children. That's what I wanted to say. We're not talking to an actual human being who wants to have understanding. We are talking to a demon, and we got to tread lightly. Sorry to be harsh, but it's the truth. Thanks.
I'm sorry, but how am I deeming when I'm agreeing that trans women are not women? If you don't understand gender and sex, then you don't understand it. That's what I'm trying to say. You keep interchanging it, then wonder why trans women feel comfortable doing what they are doing now.
I think when you said that essentially the eunuch was not a man because he had been castrated, I think that's where
I didn't say he wasn't a man. I'm saying that he is still a man, but understand what gender is. Some societies, they're going to have more than two, and they do stuff like that. They'll be like, okay, because gender is the roles assigned to you based off your sex, and they're going to manipulate it. So you're going to have some men who are, okay, you're castrated, you're not going to reproduce. You're going to be braiding hair.
But this is what I'm trying to say is that when you separate biological sex and gender and quote unquote identity, you allow trans women to come in and because they'll say that, oh yeah, so what? You're a biological woman. That's nothing. My gender is female. I'm a woman. So there's got to be some type of checking on that right there, because that's what allows these men with wigs on to come in and appropriate women. But
you can't check because as you're bringing this up, acknowledge that in a lot of societies, a lot of societies are patriarchal. A lot of women, we don't get a say in the roles in our roles in society. They're given to us by men. These things that you're talking about that the trans women feel comfortable in, most of them were constructed by men.
Yes, and trans women are men, so they're going along with
that's
it.
what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that, because I see you're saying like, oh no, they're feeling comfortable. When you acknowledge and understand that these things that they feel comfortable in were mostly created by men, they're still behaving like men. So when you let them know that, you have to let them know you're not feeling like a woman, you're feeling like a man, because these things that you're talking about, oh woman, this. Most of the men created these roles that oh, I loved Barbie. That makes me feel like a woman. Like all these beauty standards, a lot of them are curated by men to be placed on women to, in general, oppress us.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're still feeling like a man. That's
All
what
right,
I'm trying to
Aspera.
say.
Okay. I don't. I just feel like I think some of the things that you're saying is contradictory, but I'm just gonna keep going. Go ahead, Calandra, and then I'm gonna go to you, and then to Demerly. Demerly.
I just wanted to say that I think that when we're having these conversations, I feel like for me, I really kind of like get irritated as a black woman, like I said in the comments, because I think the deeper you go into intersectionality is very like, I think that T women are designed to erase women because women are not a protected class in America. And I think that the deeper you go into intersectionality, you'll see that. For example, like when you're talking about like healthcare, for example, me as a black woman, when I go to the doctor, I'm not like when I was like, I remember I had a procedure done and I'm like, I was in pain and I had like a doctor of another race and they didn't treat me like, what do you need for your pain? They're treating me like I can take pain. And so I feel like when you're having these conversations and you're saying that people understand womanhood in America is different. The deeper you go into intersectionality, white T women are giving grace when we go into, like, for example, when you look at childbirth, black women are more likely to unalive in childbirth because our needs are ignored because they believe that we're stronger than our other races of women. And so I feel like for me as a black woman, I don't really like to have certain conversations with people about womanhood because I feel like I'm not giving the same grace as other women. Like I was never allowed to be a dainty flower. Black women are always taught that we have to be a certain type of strong, even though we're women. And that's why for me, I can't have certain conversations with people who think that they're so, who want to include T women, because I feel like you're erasing womenhood, you're erasing women, and black women in particular. We're not protected in society, so that's why people think that they can say T women are being unalived or harmed when whole time black women are being unalived 6 times the rates of anybody. But because we're not protected in society, that's not fair. And that's why for me, I don't really respect certain people that try to erase women, because I feel like in like that Drew Alphalalo girl, I don't respect women like her because I feel like they don't acknowledge. It's very harmful rhetoric when you're equating womanhood to like, and you say things like, well, women are being essayed, and then when you're looking at how women don't even get justice. For example, like Jesse Butler's about to go to college after they have him on video and saying two girls, like when you're looking at the things that women go through. And so because you think that you can go put a wig on, you think that you're the same. Whole time black women have been unalive and don't get the same. Like I had a procedure done and I'm like, I'm in pain, can you help me out? That Chinese doctor looked at me like, no you're not, and like stuff like that. And that's why for me, I don't respect black women who jump on that same train, because I feel like you don't even understand that in society, you're not giving, womanhood does not look like you. They don't consider what you go through as a black woman consider womanhood. That's why black femicide doesn't get talked about the way that it should. But that's all I wanted to say.
All right, I got you, Calandra. I mean, I just feel like the biggest finesse of all times is men being able to have women think like this. You had all of these, like, you know, and I said this before, like when you have in certain countries where they have all women transportation. So only women can be on there. Why? Because men are doing stuff. They're wilding out, touching the women, doing all type of things. They're a risk factor because men generally speaking commit the majority of all violent acts of crime, no matter where you go, all over the globe. It don't matter if you in the US, don't matter if you in the UK, it don't matter if you in Asia, Africa, what them continents, whatever. That's what's going on, right? You have here in the United States, for anybody that lives in the United States, women weren't able to get bank accounts, right? And women had to fight to get their own sports, their own this, their own that. Women fought for these things, right? And so now women have made a lot of strides, right? Where they're educated, they're able to buy their houses on their own, get their own bank accounts, do their own thing. But now what has happened is we have told them that men can be women just like them. And now all of the previous protections that were in place for women, just like Barbie was saying, in this place where women are supposed to have a safe space and be protected, now men can come in there because a man can be a woman. So which is insane. So some women, not me, but goofy women have been tricked into believing this, believing that a man can really be a woman, believing that we're going to blur the lines of biological sex and gender, and we're going to act like it's different, and we're going to act like because someone feels like they're a woman, that they're a woman now, because gender doesn't really mean that. It's about societal norms and gender roles and how you look and all of this. Now we have women in a bad position. And it's really crazy because I feel like, and the reason why I also say that it is some type of spirit that's on people of confusion is because y'all understand that being transracial is crazy. When a black woman bleaches her skin and puts a blonde wig on, like that one lady, I forgot her name, or Rachel Dolezal, that white woman that was out there doing box braids and boho knotless, and y'all know that that's a white woman, no matter how bad she say she a black woman, no matter how bad she say she feel like she won, y'all know that's crazy, right? Y'all know a black person can't just say, I'm white today. Y'all know that's insane because why? Because biologically, that person is black, white, Asian, whatever. Y'all understand that's nutty, but y'all don't understand that a man with a penis dangling between his legs is not a woman? Okay. Why can't y'all make the connection? That's what I want to know. Why can't y'all make the connection that when people say they're trans-abled, when they say, oh, I feel like I'm supposed to be blind, I feel like I'm supposed to be paralyzed, and these people go and paralyze themselves, blind themselves, chop up their arms and legs, it's so that they can be what they feel. Y'all say them people are mental. They need to be in the hospital. They need to be sitting down on the couch, laying down on the couch and seeing that lady. But somehow a big burly man with a dick and balls is supposed to be a woman. We're supposed to what? Y'all are othering yourselves to disenfranchisement. Y'all are being open and accepting to where now you're not going to have any rights. All the rights that women before you fought for, their blood, sweat, and tears for, to make protections for women, you're giving it all up to men, and all they have to do is put a wig on to get you to do it. That's insane. And I don't know what are you talking about, Aspira, about spreading misinformation? Because nothing that I said was not true.
She's responding to me. Can I say something real fast, Trig?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know who I'm talking to. Sweetheart, I don't need to take a class to understand that gender, aka woman, is associated with the sex of female. It's called association, right? Feminine is also associated with woman. But yes, you can say that feminine is a social construct because not all women are feminine. Some women are masculine. You don't need a class to do that, babe. It's called common sense. Do you know how to spell it?
Right, Gabrielle, you have something to say?
Yeah, I just want to say that more I listen to this discourse, especially with what Aspira is saying, I know I said this like 15 minutes ago, but I truly am even more convinced now than I was then that it is a spirit, and I'm trying not to laugh because it's really not funny. But seriously, like just listening to Aspira talk, like no disrespect, but it really does sound exactly like that other lady who was on whatever live I was on the last time I was in your live, where she was like kind of speaking in the same way, like kind of looping and not answering the question. Like I really think if we are honest, we do all know that a woman is an adult human female.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah, but
I don't know why
you
you guys
Can you
keep
let me
trying.
finish though? Can you let me finish? Thank you so much. So I just, this is why I do think there is something to the host saying that, because we know this, like, and it's like arguing around it, talking about a tribe, talking about intersex people, talking about, you know, the 0.111%, like the very small minority of people who might be born with like some genital abnormality. None of that changes the fact that biological males are biological males and biological females are biological females. And it's like, just a spirit, the way you were talking, I know you weren't on the live that I'm talking about, but there was another lady who was up here who sounded exactly like you, the same cadence, just the way you were speaking. And that's why I do believe that the host is seriously onto something when she says it is a spirit. Or I think Brown Sugar also said a spirit of confusion. Like, it is bizarre and almost like kind of surreal just sitting here listening to it. And I'm trying not to laugh because it's not funny, but it kind of is, because it just is nonsensical. Like, we know this, right? Like, they're like, this is not an opinion. This isn't a political statement. Like, medically, scientifically, biologically, we know what a man is and what a woman is, and trying to argue around it like that, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm sorry, it doesn't.
All right. I got you, Gabrielle. Like I said, okay, so let me just say this. When I first attempted to have the conversations like this, and I said this in another live, maybe about 2-3 years ago, there was no, like, of course there were women that were on my side and understood where I was coming from and agreed. But there were a lot of women that were against me. They were against me saying that a man can't be a woman. Okay, a man can't say that he feels like a woman, because what the is that? What do you mean? How do you feel like something that you never are and you never were? And women would get crazy. I would get drugged and all of that. But I feel like, because, which is what is going to happen with men, men are always going to take it too far. Men are always going to push it. They're going to push it like salt and pepper. They're going to push it too far. And what's happening is more and more women are getting disenfranchised, and more women, the scales are falling off of their eyes, and they're able to see that this is a game being run on them by men who want to oppress them, to dominate them, and erase them, all while using them as inspiration and lying about the fact that women are the inspiration. Can you imagine a man with a penis saying, I don't want to be you. I would never want to be you. Actually, you're jealous of me. As they have in fake breasts, they take in hormones to try to make themselves appear more feminine. They've had surgeries on their face. They have a wig on. They have makeup on. They have nails on. They have women's clothes on. That's what so many of them do. Do you understand how insane and Looney Tunes you have to be to say that you don't want to be a woman? No, who wants to be a woman? As you're literally cosplaying as a woman? Like I said, it's the same thing as what's his name? Bad Baby saying, who wants to be black? Who wants to be black? And she is trying to do her best black girl imitation. Whoever that said we was kings, I'm gonna block you, because that came from white tea supremacists. And I don't know why people don't know that, but I'm gonna block you. So have a great day. But nonetheless, all I'm saying is that that's something that, like, women have really got to understand. If you allow yourself to really identify with any of this madness, men have gotten over on you. They really have. And I really find it to be crazy. Like, how can you deny what you see with your eyes? And people deny what they see with their eyes in no other way. The only thing that people will deny is this one thing. You will look at a man that is 6'5", got a woman's dress on, big arms, big feet, big face, deep voice, got a man's hairline, got a penis, and you will say, oh, yeah. I think that's a woman. Yeah. But anybody else that would attempt to do any of this, y'all would say they were crazy. Like I said, I don't know. And the crazy thing is, you never hear about trans men in these conversations. Why is that? Why do you think? You never hear men complaining about trans men trying to go into the male community and run game and to dominate. Why don't you hear of trans men doing this? I know I seen this one trans man that's in my feed. He be doing like or they be doing like workout content, and they'll show like their food meal prepping and stuff. I don't see that person going nowhere, saying nothing about nothing other than living their life, doing what they want to do. Why don't you see trans men behaving like this? I know why. And if you're smart, you know why too. Go ahead, Barbie.
And just with you're saying just that, at my old job, they didn't allow trans men to be placed with the men for safety issues. And I found that to be, quite funny. There weren't as many, I think there were only 3 total trans men trying to enter into my place of work, but they were denied because of safety issues. And one of my biggest argument was with my team, well, the higher ups, was that because the men will either grape or just accost that trans man, and at the same time you're telling me that the women aren't given that same luxury of having that even to be considered, because the 6'4" with the wig, they went back to their base, which is masculinity, which is a man, and tried to jump on one of the lady clients. And we literally took 3 of us to get her off of the client. And so I always find the dichotomy to be so it's so backwards that it doesn't even make sense. But that was a big issue of us not accepting trans men for safety. Did make sense.
Ridiculous. And that's exactly what I'm saying. You see Barbie right there telling y'all what it is. It's so disgusting. It's so distasteful. I can't even stand it. And talking to women that don't understand this is actually, it makes me so mad. I can't even really think straight, because it's just like, what's wrong with you? like Gabrielle said, it's not funny though. It's actually crazy. Go ahead, Calandra.
I just wanted to say that I think I just figured it out after listening to Inspire. The reason why women are okay with that, some women are okay with that, is because they're male-centered. And I'm finna explain it because I just kind of pieced it together. And I thought back to that creator that we had a live about last week that I blocked, Nene, right? Because some women are unpacking their male-centeredness, but they still haven't left it, right? They're trying to unpack it, but they still haven't left it. They think that it's better if they protect G men, bi men, T women, because they're male-centered. And that's why, because women are male-centered, and they feel like it's better if they go protect another oppressed class of men, because they're male-centered. And that's why I say male-centered women, we gotta separate ourselves from them. They're male-centered, and it's something about their male-centeredness that they gotta protect. And I'm telling you, that's why they don't speak on no topics that's related to women, but decided to go make lies about women not wanting to date bi men, because you're male-centered. And it's just something about a man for some of y'all that you gotta include with it. They're male-centered, and that's what the problem is. And that's why some women are cool with stuff like this, because they're male-centered and they can't leave men alone. They gotta bring them with them somehow. And they think it's better to defend G men, bi men, T women, because you're male-centered. And that's why I say the day women start to unpack their male-centeredness, society will be a lot better.
I definitely agree with you, Calandra, for sure. I just wish that women would understand that men are gonna man. A man is going to man regardless, whether he is straight, whether he is bi, whether he is gay, whether he is a trans woman, whatever the case may be. A man is always going to man, period. And what's crazy is that, just like Barbie was talking about at her job, if you think that a trans man is not safe with other men there because they're going to do something, what makes the difference when a man goes in to be with women? Because he got a wig on? That's the difference? There's no difference. I know y'all have heard about the stories of trans women going to female prisons and raping the women there and impregnating them and abusing them. Why? Because what a man is going to man regardless. It doesn't matter that he has a wig on or not. And that is something that women that are male-centered, like Alondra was saying, have got to recognize. There's a reason why, generally speaking, statistically speaking, globally, men commit the majority of all violent crime, all unaliving, all grape. The majority of all of the bad stuff that's going on in the world is committed by men. If every last man just disappeared right now, crime would plummet until probably like 5 to 10%. That is a fact. Maybe not even 10%. I'm being generous saying that. So once again, get it in your mind that it doesn't matter how a man is presenting himself. If those chromosomes say XY, then there's gonna be some trouble afoot. And it's just that simple. But I'm about to wrap this up. Go ahead, Brown Sugar.
Hey, yeah, I just want to say something before you leave. I think when it comes to male-centeredness, I think a lot of women have fooled themselves with believing that if I stick by a man's side, that is going to guarantee protection. If I stick by a man's side, it's going to guarantee that he's going to like me and uplift me. But really, women don't know is that men are going to look at you like you're weak. So they don't think of it as, oh, she's on my side. No, they're going to think that you're a weak woman and they're going to stomp all over you. And when you sacrifice yourself, your womanhood, to be male-centered and abide to what they're saying, a man can't do no wrong. Oh, I have to protect them. I have to stand up for them, whether it's a straight man, whether it's a G-man, or whether he decides to put a wig on, you're going to lose your essence as a woman. And know that men are never going to stand up for women's rights. They barely want to do that. If anything, they want to oppress us. So I really want women to understand that when you decide to be male-centered and when you decide to vouch for them, you're not going to get that same love in return. So don't do it. If anything, uplift the women that look like you and uplift the little girls that are coming up. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right, no problem. I just wanted to say, for me personally, moving forward, I'm just no longer like respecting or supporting women that actively go against other women, that actively disenfranchise other women, because that's exactly what you're doing. When you're out there calling trans women and saying that being a woman is a feeling and you're making a separation, you're not a friend of women. You are an enemy to women. You're a weapon. You're not an ally, and I don't respect you and I don't trust you. And I think that moving forward, more women should do that. I know I like this rapper named Doechii. When she said something about she was against men, but not gay men. I stopped following her because what do you mean? You don't trust straight men, but somehow because a man takes dick, that means he's safe? What? What in the world does that mean? What are you talking about? Like two GAY men got a doggone 11-month-old baby from the orphanage and did all type of stuff to that poor baby and unalived it. So much so that the baby was aspirating man juice, if you get my drift. So we're now saying that men that take penis are not capable of horrible acts of crime. So it's just like, I just feel like when y'all say these things, I no longer am supporting no woman that's on that time. If you are not on, if y'all want to call me a turf, fine. If y'all are not on turf time, I'm not acknowledging you as a woman anymore. Like, I just look at you as an enemy. Like, you're just a mammy. Like, you might as well go on Amazon and get you one of those 50s housewife costumes, because that's how I look at you. You might as well go and get the little apron, the little frilly dress, and put your hair in like a little bun with the little pin curls. That's what I'm looking at you like. You're that type of woman. I'm no longer respecting y'all at all, because y'all are a danger to society. Y'all are ruining women. Y'all are ruining women's spaces. You are destroying womanhood. You are destroying girlhood. You are placing women and girls at risk for violence and unalivings. And I just don't respect y'all. Like, really, I don't know what else to say. I'm no longer, y'all know that I always give black women a grace that I don't give anyone else, because we're black women and we need to be sticking together. But frankly, if you're a black woman and you believe in this type of stuff, I'm putting you in the same pile that I put the white T women in, the same pile I put the white T men in, the same pile I put all of these other people that are actively disenfranchising black women and black people as a collective. I just can't respect you. But I'm gonna let y'all speak before I get out of here. Let everybody speak one more time. I'll start at the top and go to the bottom. I'll start up here first with Aspira. I'll put everybody on a timer. I'm gonna give y'all all 2 minutes. Go ahead, Aspira.
Okay. I don't understand why you guys are assuming that I'm supporting trans. I already said I don't support the concept of trans. I'm also saying that with the gender thing is that I feel like you guys have to understand terror in our society since the 70s, the second wave feminism. Starting from there, as women, we try to rework our roles because we realized and understood that we were being oppressed by men, and we're trying to fix that. And I noticed the trans women, they don't want that. They don't want us to acknowledge our reality. They don't want us to fix the roles that was assigned to us by men through oppression. That is why how you said, they talk about, I feel this way, this and that. I don't support any of that. I want you guys to understand, I don't support the transgender ideology. I don't understand why you guys feel confused by what I'm saying, but I just don't support it. There.
I got you. I think for me personally, I just think that when people say that sex and gender are different, and they go from that playbook, that's what allows trans women to come in and say that they're women and then co-opt true womanhood. That's why they're doing it now. They'll say, oh, like I said earlier, me having a penis means nothing. That doesn't, but me feeling like a woman, that means something. So I am a woman like you because I feel that way. So when you completely separate the two, you allow a space for delusional males to try to pretend to be a woman. That's what I think everybody was trying to explain to you. That is the door that opens it. Like that right there is the door that they're able to come in on. You get what I mean?
I see where you guys are coming from, but you have to understand. I study sociology. If you pick up a sociology, just pick up a sociology. But talk to sociologists; they will explain it to you that there is a difference. Just give yourself the time to do that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I know all about sociology. What I'm saying here is I know about micro sociology, macro sociology. I understand what you're saying, but you're not understanding what we're saying. What I'm trying to explain to you is when you blur the lines and you say that sex and gender are two completely different things, you allow trans women to come in and do exactly what they're doing. Because if you tell somebody that they can still be a woman if they feel that way, then you get the situation that we're in right now. Big, burly men saying that they're women, saying that they're just like women, or looking down on women, or just playing games in women's faces is what I'm trying to say. That's what is happening. And when you do that, that's the reason why they started doing it in the first place, so that they could do it. They literally have changed the definition of racism in certain books. Before it was like, if you don't have the power, right, to disenfranchise somebody, you can't be racist. So black people can be prejudiced, but not racist. So many times people use that now, which is why, once again, people that have power, powers within institutions are able to change the world, because they say, oh, okay, wow, black people got in there on that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to change the definition. And we're going to make it like that's not true. So now black people can be racist. And you get what I'm saying? Because men are in charge of everything, now they're able to change everybody's mind into blurring the lines in these things. Sex and gender. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Sex and gender are connected. Regardless of whether you want to believe it or not, they are. Because if they were truly disconnected, you wouldn't have these men out here that say they need gender affirming care. What the heck is that? What the heck is that? If they're different, you can be a woman and have a dick. You can be a woman and not wear a wig. You can be a woman and not take estrogen. You can be a woman and walk out in this world just like your manly self if they are two different things. I don't know what else to say to get you to understand what I'm saying. I'm gonna keep going though. Go ahead, Barbie. I'll set your timer, sis.
I just want to say, just with me, my eyes are just like so open with the experience that I just experienced at my job, and that I feel that even though in my profession I am to help all people who come across my desk, I will continue to do so. But I'm going to stand firm on the differences between trans women and women, and somebody who's heavily degreed in sociology, and I do understand the definitions of what was she saying, gender and sex, but they're so correlated that you can get away from one another. And I do believe that talking about those things heavily and trying to make the argument of the difference of them does open the door for trans women to do the things that they're doing. I believe that they have the right to exist, to be who they want to be, and do all those things. But I think that they should stay in their lane, not hinder women, as I just witnessed myself with my women clients who were afraid and scared and felt just downright disrespected by seeking help, and had this interruption with trans women being on the floor with them. And so, yeah, I'm still hurting behind it, and I just stand 10 toes down with my womanhood. That's it.
All right. I got you, Barbie. And I just want to say this real quick and make this clear. I don't have any issues with trans women or trans men existing. If you want to think that you're a woman or a man, that's fine. Do that. They don't got nothing to do with me. That doesn't affect me. What affects me is when your delusion tries to encroach upon my reality. When y'all are everywhere talking about, oh, women don't own womanhood. Women don't own femininity. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and go in these spaces where women are getting dressed in locker rooms and expose my penis because my penis can be feminine too. That's nutty, psychotic behavior. When you say, hey, I want to be a man, I want to go ahead, I'm a trans woman, I want to box with women. I want to weight lift with women. Why do you want to do that, sir? When if you don't take the hormone blockers before you hit puberty, you will always have an advantage over biological women. Why do you want to do that? That's when there's a problem. There's a problem when you have a young white boy that joins a female sorority, right? And is getting in their showers with them and he's on hard. And all of the girls are saying, hey, we don't feel comfortable. We saw his erect penis. He needs to get out of here. And people are saying, oh, no, we can't do that because he's actually a woman now. That's what I'm talking about. I have a problem with. If you want to go wear wigs and wear girl clothes and get your nails done, do it. Do it. I don't have no problems with it. But once you start encroaching upon womanhood, that's when we have a problem. And this whole thing about being jealous, ain't nobody ever been jealous of no trans woman. Ain't nobody ever been jealous of nobody with no dick that ever had one. The fact that y'all be lying to yourself and telling yourselves these things is already crazy. Nobody's jealous of you. Nobody is jealous of T.S. Madison. Be honest. Be freaking for real. You can see that person's anus on TikTok and not on TikTok, on Google, whenever you would like. It's nothing to write home about. Nobody's jealous of T.S. Madison at all, or none of these other men with wigs on. And y'all know it. Y'all know how beautiful women are. Have y'all seen truly beautiful, bad women? I have. And I can guarantee you that nobody is jealous. Y'all seen Halle Berry in her prime? Bernice Burgos? The lady that played in Queen and Slim, I forgot her name right now. That beautiful chocolate woman. Oh my gosh, she's so stunning. I really need y'all to stop it. Megan Thee Stallion, absolutely. Lisa Ray, Jamie Lawson, Coco Jones, y'all really think, come on now. It's not about, yes, the girl from Belly. Oh, I forgot her name. Yes, her. Y'all gotta be freaking for real. I gotta name some of my light-skinned sisters too. But it's like they all slip in my mind right now. I already mentioned Lisa Ray though. Anywho, y'all know what I'm talking about. Be freaking for real. Nobody's jealous. The issue is the overstepping. If the overstepping, Beyonce, yes, Kelly Rowland, if they would stop the overstepping, nobody would say anything. Nobody would care. The issue is hold on, let me add this person. Miss Mimi, darling, I added you up. Before I add you up, let me say something to the comment that you left. You said that women who are confident don't feel insecure about trans women. Nobody feels insecure about trans women. When trans women get online, like T.S. Madison and others, and say, oh, y'all are jealous of me, Y'all are mad that we're sleeping with the same men. Y'all want to be us. Oh, your womanhood is not really, doesn't belong to women. It belongs to us too. And all of these other disrespectful things. That's where the problem comes in. Nobody is caring about trans women in any way other than that. And if y'all were really women, y'all would know that. I've never been jealous of nobody with no dick, baby, or that ever had one. And most women don't feel that way. 99.999% of women feel this way. But y'all keep saying it because I think that it makes you feel better about yourself. And do what you got to do, but don't lie on women so that you can feel better about yourself. You're going to have to find that love internally, honestly and truly, because it's truly delusional to think that women really are jealous of somebody with a dick. That anybody, if we're talking about, oh, she looks good, she looks better than you. Any woman, if you're going to the doctor and getting your face chopped up and you get everything that you don't like altered and adjusted and fixed, you get your titties pulled up to your chest, you get this, you get that, you get that. Some things will look better. Anybody can do that if they got the money. Like, what are we talking about? But I'm gonna let you go ahead and speak first, Mimi, because I really don't understand. Are you a trans woman or are you a woman? Which is it? And then that'll let me know how to address you and how to talk to you. You can go ahead. You there, Mimi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So are you a trans woman or are you a woman?
I'm a woman.
Okay. You're a biological woman? XX chromosomes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do women need to be held accountable for? Because what did I say that I would need to be held accountable for?
Well, it's a lot of things. There were a lot of things said. Which would you like me to address?
You can address whatever you want. I just want to make sure you're a black woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm just I'm at work, so I have my work voice on.
Okay. You go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I had to shut my door. Sorry, I'm in my office. So there was a lot of things that were said. I seen that you mentioned the most recent interview with Laverne and T.S. Madison. What exactly about that upset you?
Okay, so do you think that it's okay for people that are biological men to say that women don't have ownership over womanhood? Do you think that's okay?
Yes, I do think so.
Okay, so do you think it's okay for a man like T.S. Madison to say that he will physically attack women if they were ever to question him being in the bathroom? You think it's okay for him to talk about causing harm to women?
So
No,
women.
I don't want to, just yes
Oh,
or no.
okay. Go ahead.
Yes or no?
Want me to talk to you, or did you just want me to
Yeah,
answer
no, I
questions?
wanted you to answer my question because I didn't want it to be like a go around on that. I'm gonna let you speak completely and freely. I just wanted to ask you that question, yes or no. It's just because it's a yes or no answer.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Okay, so do you think it's okay for a trans woman to brag about sleeping with DL men and saying that makes them a woman because they're able to get some back shots from some man that's sneaking out that will more than likely unalive them if they tell
Oh,
somebody?
wow.
Do you think that it's okay for that to
I've
happen?
never heard that before.
Well, that's probably because you're not familiar with T.S. Madison. And that's my thing. A lot of women, if you are indeed a woman, say a lot of things about trans women, but are truly uneducated on the things that come out of their mouth. T.S. Madison has said
I'm
so many
educated on
horrific
it.
things. Then how come you didn't know that T.S. Madison has said those things then?
No, so not in the context that you're saying it at all.
Okay, so
I
T.S.
think that
Madison has said that
you're twisting the words.
I'm not twisting anything. I challenge anybody. I will cash app you $1,000.
Oh,
I'm not
that'd be
twisting
nice.
anything. Go look at T.S. Madison's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Look at as many as you want. Look up the queries that I said and see if he didn't say those things exactly in context of the way that I said.
So she did not say it in that context. Those words were used, but not in that context.
So
When she said
how do
that,
you use the
I'm sorry, go
context
ahead.
of beating up women? Saying that I wish somebody would say anything to me. I will beat the shit out of them. What other context is it? And they
So
say, I'm not playing.
I'm
I
sorry, go
will
ahead.
beat the shit out of them. What is that?
Okay, so it sounds like self-defense to me. If you're attacked in the restroom, it's self-defense.
So if somebody says, why are you supposed to be there? They ask you a question. You have a right to react with putting your hands on them and beating the brakes off of them. That's what we're able to do here.
Oh, that's not what you just stated. You said
That's
if someone
exactly what I
she said
stated.
if someone attacks her in the restroom,
No,
then she
she
would beat
didn't.
the
She said,
brakes off them.
excuse me. He said if someone questions him. That's what he said. If someone questions him and asks them why he is there, he will beat them.
Could you pull that up? I've never heard that.
I'm not going to pull it up for you. It's so many places you can look that up.
It sounds like you're twisting words.
I'm not twisting anything. I know that it doesn't feel good to hear that the truth, but it is the truth.
I'm not in my feelings.
I mean, I think that, I don't know if you're in your feelings or not, but I think that you're living in a place.
I'm not. I know that.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna say you're living in a place of delusion because he said it.
So because I'm not in my feelings, I'm in delusion. I just never heard that.
It's not that. It's that I told you what he said. You don't have to believe me, but you can look it up. I'll even wait for you to look it up.
I watched the show. I'm a fan of.
Have you watched all of the episodes or no?
I'm a friend of the gay guy.
Have you watched all of the episodes or not?
Yeah, I've been following them.
So you watched every single episode. Then why don't you know what he said?
Went to see them in concert when they came to my city.
Okay.
They're actually a really good time.
You know what I find to be weird is that, and this is what I'm saying when you talk to certain people, you say I'm twisting words, but you say you never heard it. I know that he said it.
I've never heard them say that they were going to attack someone in the restroom.
They did.
That's never been said.
It has been said. It's everywhere. It was like a viral clip. It sounds like
self-defense, and you're conflating the words.
Okay, all right. Let's just keep going. Because what did you have to say? Because you wanted to deny reality, and I can't talk to somebody like that.
Well, I'm not denying reality. I think
yes, you are. You just said
words.
it didn't happen when multiple people have already heard this clip. So it's like you didn't hear it.
I mean, I think if they don't like trans people, then they would be on your side, of course. I think if you're going, I do believe if you're going to make a claim, then you should be able to back it up.
No, she's not. I just looked on her page. She's not black.
Okay, you gotta go.
She's not even a woman.
Oh my goodness, you're a man too? You're a man and you're not even black? Get off of my page. Bye. Let me block her real quick. You know I don't talk to non-black women.
That's definitely black.
And I'm definitely not talking to a man. Get out of here. Go brush your teeth.
Excuse me?
And chop that dick off.
Excuse me?
Bye-bye. Chop that wiener off.
But you
chop that wiener off.
That voice was not fooling nobody.
White.
Yeah, and you know what? I knew that.
Page?
Let me tell y'all something. I knew that he had the fake voice that they be putting on, but I was just trying to play and just listen to see what he was gonna say.
It's always the yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Herself is black too. She has like dark paint on some of her pictures too, or his pictures, whatever. No.
So weird. Like, so weird. And then it's just like, why is you lying? You talking about you never heard T.S. Madison say that. Yes, you did. You know you heard T.S. Madison say that. You know that you did. You know you did. You know you did.
They was lying as soon as they came over talking about, I'm a woman.
No, you know what? When they said, yes, I'm just using my work voice. I'm like, what work voice? What work? Oh my goodness. But really what I was trying to do is be able to pigeonhole them into seeing what they were going to say about all of this noted bad behavior about T.S. Madison, because T.S. Madison has said a lot of stuff about women, bad stuff about women, crazy stuff about women. And so I was just thinking like, okay, let me see what, if you're going to deny, well, first of all, if you're going to agree with it, and then let me see, but this person wouldn't even acknowledge that he said it. So it was just like, man, get out of here. I can't even take you seriously. But okay, let me go here real quick to Chilotail, because Chilotail was waiting. And then I'm going to make sure all of you guys get a chance to speak, y'all. Because, man, we just got this conversation reinvigorated. Go ahead, Chilotail.
Morning. Sorry, good afternoon. I'm cracking up. I'm sorry. That was kind of funny. So I came in kind of late when you were talking about the gender versus sex thing. And I think a lot of people forget, or maybe at least try to omit, where this ideology came from. And it came from, I think it was two men named John Money and Alfred Kinsey. One of them learned from the other one, but John Money was responsible for this very famous case. It happened way back, like maybe 20 plus years ago, of these twins, and one of them was accidentally burned when he was circumcised. They're both boys, and his parents were, very worried about how he would grow up and how people would laugh at him or how he would have a hard life. It was like a very famous story. Both of them they've passed away now, which is a tragedy because they both unalived each other, and because of all the things they went through, because of what this doctor put them through. Apparently he used to, do sexual acts on them and record them, and then he lied to their parents that gender and sex are different. So their parents started raising one of them as a girl, and he had such a hard childhood because he would go to school and he was dressed as a girl and everything, but people would make fun of him because obviously he looked like a boy, especially when he became a teenager and his features became more prominent. So I don't think people know that when they tout this idea that gender and sex are different, it comes from a well-known PDF file. Like, this man was known to do very heinous things to children, and it's not this is not me trying to put that label on everybody in the LGBT community, but it's just like that idea is not something people should push forward. Like, yeah, do what you want to do as an adult, but let there be some kind of boundaries. Women before us fought so hard to get into sports, to get into spaces where, men essentially dominated. And now we are reversing all the work that they did in order to accommodate these men. It's just it's like an inverted kind of patriarchy. I don't know if that makes sense. But that's what I wanted to say. If you guys have time, just research John Money and Alfred Kinsey. The names of the twins are David Reimer, and their last name is Reimer. I can't remember his brother's name, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Chilotam, for coming with that. Yes, I did hear about the Alfred. Somebody told me about that a long time ago, and I did some research on it, and I'm so sad that I forgot to mention that. But I'm glad Chilotam mentioned it. She's exactly correct, and everything that she said it really great, in an eloquent way, better than I could. But I definitely agree with everything that you said. All right, you guys, I'm going to go up here to Miss Chrissy, baby, and then Miss Cheska, and then I'll go back down to the rest of you ladies again, okay? Go ahead, Miss Chrissy, baby.
Hi, Triggered. Hi, ladies.
Hey, how you doing? It's good to see you.
It's been forever. Sorry, I wanted to come up a long time ago. My daughter had her shoes on and got her sweatpants stuck in her. It was a lot. So I was up here fighting with my daughter's sweatpants. But I do want to talk about all the topics. I know that you're trying to leave. But I'm going to tie it into where I feel like all of this, even all these topics, I feel like, and maybe I sound like a conspiracy theorist, that there's like a weird attack on Black women. Even when it comes to the topic of the trans stuff, somehow we get roped in and we're getting, like, I feel like it's more focal on like us being called names and phobics and TERFs and all this stuff or whatever. And I'm like, isn't all races male and female? Like, why are we getting drugged into this or whatever? I don't know, maybe I'm being a conspiracy theorist, but I just feel like every week, every topic, there's like, no matter what it is, it always like centers the attack on and dogpiling on Black women. It's just been really weird the past few months, and I don't know if anyone else is noticing that, because even what Krishan Rock said, ultimately, I forgot the post or whatever, but it was another person that kind of said the same thing. And there was all these YT women in the comments just dogpiling and talking real bad about Black women, and the Black men were doing it too. And I'm just like, what? We were just sitting here chilling, moisturizing our skin. Like, why is every post an attack, no matter the subject, it's an attack on Black women? And I like what Kalandra said, because I guess that's what I'm trying to get at and trying to articulate it. I can't, I'm a really bad speaker, but I feel like it's still, I think we have the hardest time in society being feminine and associating our womanhood with femininity most times. And I don't know, I can't explain it. I just feel like everything is really spooky right now. The person that came up definitely sounded very Elmo-ish. And I don't think they were Black either. I don't know. Do anybody else feel like they're like antagonizing us? Because what do trans people have to do with us? Like, why are we always drug into these topics and think pieces? I don't know. That's all I wanted to say. I just think everything's spooky right now, and I just feel like I don't know what's going on, but I feel like there's also a promotion of normalizing PDF type situations. I don't know if anyone's noticing that. I think there's like a minimizing women's organs. Like that doesn't determine whether you're a woman. Yeah, dude. Like, what do you mean? Like, I just feel like, and the most vulnerable classes in the country, in my opinion, are Black women and children, because we're the least protected. And I just feel like we have been the focal point the past few months in every single discourse online, and then we get dogpiled with that discourse. And that's all I wanted to say. I miss you, Triggered. Okay.
Okay, I miss you too, sis. I just wanted to say, yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you, and I definitely believe that something is not right, and I definitely think that there are agendas that I feel like they push with each generation, and I think that this is like, this probably is considered a conspiracy theory, maybe to some people, but this is just my opinion, y'all. Y'all don't have to agree with me or anything. Y'all can feel free to disagree. This is just my thoughts. I feel like with each generation, they push forth certain perversions and ideologies with each generation. And I feel like if you're like a millennial or a like Gen Xer that's like basically merging into a millennial, so like let's say you're like 46 to like 30 or something like that. I feel like that generation in that area was promiscuity, like casual smecks. Oh, you know what, you may have to have smecks with like 100 guys, but it's okay as long as like you find the one at the end of it. Oh, you know, all of the movies and shows that they show, like, oh, they went on one date, the next thing you saw they were in the bed doing it, and all of that, and didn't know each other, and it was just that. I feel like that's what was pushed to that particular demographic, 30 to 46. I feel like my children's age, both of my daughters, I have an older teenager and I have a preteen, and I feel like their generation is the blurring of like gender. Anybody, gender and sex, whatever. Anybody can be a woman. Anybody can be a man. You don't even have to be that. You could be something else. Even, you know, they got the what do they call it? There, it's not furries, but it's another word where people are now identifying as animals. They're saying that they're my oldest daughter, my teenager, she showed me these whole threads about all of these people saying that they were dogs and wolves and cats and all of this stuff. And they were saying that they're just the same way as trans women, trans men. They feel this way. It was like thousands of comments. They were talking about how sometimes they get the desire to bite people. They get desire to like eat raw meat and rip it apart with their teeth. And so they're actually animals. Some of them had like animal masks on and like things on their hands and stuff like that. And it was like I was clicking on people profiles. All of them were under the age of like 20 and under. So I think that's what's putting forth to the next generation. And you know, I really feel like people that okay, let me just say this, y'all, and please don't take no disrespect. It don't apply to nobody up on the panel. But I think that the majority of society is stupid and easily manipulated. You got people that don't even fact check information. Like they'll just like, I remember like during COVID, right? Somebody had said that Eddie Murphy had passed away. And everybody was passing this around like, oh my gosh, I don't know why they're not talking about this. Eddie Murphy is unalive. And I said like, hey y'all, don't y'all think that if somebody as popular and well known as Eddie Murphy had passed away, that there wouldn't just be some stupid picture on Facebook? Like, why don't you go to Google and look this up and see if it's true. What is wrong with y'all? The majority of people are stupid idiots and they're easily manipulated. And that's the reason why you got all of these people now thinking that men can be women, women can be men. You can call yourself they and them. You don't have to be anything. You can even be an animal. You can even be another race because everybody is easily manipulated. And this is why I believe, this is just me, y'all don't gotta believe this either. But when people talk about the Antichrist or the end of the world or whatever, however you want to look at it, it's going to be easy for it to happen globally because globally, not just here in America, people are complete idiots. And all somebody got to do is say something to hurt your feelings or strike your feelings to make you feel some type of way, and they can get you to believe anything in the world. All they have to do is touch the right buttons inside your soul. And then there you are believing it. You know what I mean? And I think that's what all of this is coming to. And also right now, I feel like there is, and this is going to sound crazy, but just bear with me. I also think there is an attack on, like, I don't want to say it's like, straight men and masculinity. I don't think that society wants that to exist anymore. Right? So the powers that be have preyed on men's misogyny, men's stupidity, men's desire to oppress women, men's low simmering hatred for women because women are able to get certain benefits in society. Like, a dude might pay for them or might do something like that. She might not have to work or whatever. Men are jealous of that. That's the same reason why they be so jealous of them OnlyFans girls that can just get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars just for being cute or showing their body or whatever. What is happening right now is red pill is pushing men into misogyny so far deep into misogyny that they're becoming homosexual, that they're actually now falling in love with men. That's the reason why you have men like Myron from Fashion Fit talking about, women's vaginas are ugly. They're ugly. They're stinky. Men's private parts look better. Well, sir, I got a surprise for you. If you think that men's private parts look better, you're gay. You're gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay if that's what you want to do, homie, but you're gay. And so many men are like, oh, yeah. These B words don't do nothing. These B words are worthless. Women have nothing to offer. Women are idiots. Women are emotional. Women are this. Women are that. Okay, sir. Well, if you hate women so much, then who do you love? Men, right? And so you have all of these red pill men forcing men down a rabbit hole of homosexuality. That's exactly that. There's a red pill pipeline right to being a booty bandit. I'm just gonna call it red pill pipeline, red pill to booty bandit pipeline. That's what's happening. So you got that, right? Then you got the trans women that want to brainwash the world into believing that they're truly women so that they can have access to more men. Because contrary to what they say, there are some men that don't play like that. There are some men that are genuinely really straight and that trans women can't have access to because they don't play like that. They want to try to brainwash the world into believing that they're really women and engaging with them is not homosexual activity so that they can have access to those type of men. The whole goal is to erase the masculine completely. And then I think the other goal is to, what's the word I'm looking for? To appropriate femininity and to pervert and corrupt womanhood and femininity. Because deep down inside, trans women, okay, and also biological men are deeply jealous and envious of women. They're envious of the feminine. They're envious that we can create life. They're envious of a lot of things that women are involved in, and they want to erase it and co-opt it and take it for themselves. That's what I think it is. And I think the whole end game is to find some type of way to oppress women completely. Just to say, and I think they want it to be done all over the world. Just like how in Afghanistan, women can't talk outside, can't speak. They have to cover themselves up from head to toe. They can only see out of a little grid. I think that at the end of the day, other places, they're able to grape and assault little babies, marry 6-year-old girls and say, I'm marrying a 6-year-old. I'm going to wait until they have their menstrual to have intercourse with them. Knowing the men are not waiting until then. I think that all of it is rooted into the end game of that. Women being in complete servitude and domination. Also them being able to have access to babies, children, to get involved in PDF activity. And women are so stupid. The women that co-sign all of this, they don't realize that's where they're all being headed to. You know, like how you have like lambs being herded. They're herding them together. All of these women like Drew or Follow and Nene and the rest of these other women that are so pro-trans and pro-date by men, or you're this or that, they're being herded. They're being herded into a complete oppression and domination. That's what's happening, in my opinion. And I think that's exactly what's happening right now. That's why you have all of these Christian nationalists, all of these white tea people talking about, oh, women don't need to vote. Women don't need to do this, that, and the third. I think it's all connected. In my opinion, I think that's what the end game is for women to only be used as incubators. But that's just my opinion, y'all.
And one more thing, I agree with that because the birthing people terminology, I mean, there's no shade. What's his name? Funky Dineva saying that, I feel bad for people that have a natural attraction to children. I think they want to just use us as work horses and just like essay victims and procreate with children, in my opinion. I think they want
Absolutely.
children.
I think so too. I think that it's all, we're just supposed to be the mammies. But let me go next up here to Cheska. Go ahead, Cheska. Sorry I talked so long.
No, it's all good. I don't know why TikTok put me off of it, but okay. So basically, yes to everything you're saying. I don't even know how to put this, but like I'm probably gonna be called a TERF or whatever, but like it's not. I don't have anything against trans women or whatever, right? But like, okay. Hopefully y'all understand what I'm trying to say, because I don't know if I'll be the most eloquent with it. But I work with a trans woman or whatever, and they like always have their hair done, always have their nails done, which is fine. Like women do that, but like sometimes I think that trans women think that they can do femininity better than women can. And because sometimes, like not all the time do I have my nails done, hair done all the time, but I'm still a woman, I'm still feminine. But, I just feel like what they think is femininity is putting on that stuff. And it's not, because if y'all can understand femininity better than a whole woman, y'all can take off the wig, y'all can take off the makeup, y'all can take off the nails. You can, take that switch out your hips when you walk. So then what do you have after that? And again, like I chop it up with her, whatever. It's not that I don't like trans people. I do. However, I do draw a line when they say that they're women or that they know femininity or womanhood better than an actual woman does. Like, I don't agree with that. They can have, but again, trying to go off your conspiracy theory triggered, I don't know for sure if, again, I can put it in the best way, but I do believe that, going to Nave, I was putting like femininity and womanhood in the same thing, right? I do believe that everybody has a feminine and masculine side, but what I'm saying is like when you're talking about femininity and womanhood, and I think that I use both of those terms, but I do believe that there is an agenda out against women and like men. This is gonna be weird, but I think that men feel like they can dominate so much and everything, that I truly believe that they think that they can dominate women in being women. And I know that sounds weird, but that's what I'm seeing. And it's giving me the ick. Again, y'all could say that you're trans women. I don't have a problem with that. I will use your pronouns. If you go by she, her, I will definitely call you that. But like, you're not a woman, and that's okay. If that makes any sense.
All right. Sorry about that. And you know what? As you were talking, and you were talking about like, like the masculine and feminine, and everybody has masculine and feminine sides. I don't even know if I necessarily even believe that anymore. Because when I was looking it up, right? Because I was a person that believed that too, right? That we all have dual sides. But when I was looking it up on Google, it was like the masculine and feminine sides referred to the dual complementary energies or psychological traits that exist within every person, regardless of biological sex, right? And then it goes on to just use things that men always say that belong to them, which I don't think belongs to them. So like they'll say like the masculine side, it represents like active, external, and analytical traits. It's focused on doing and problem solving. And not all men do. Not all men are
Oh my
problem
gosh.
solvers. You know
Men
what
are
I'm
not
saying?
genuine, like in genuine or generally problem solvers. No, I agree. Like
You know what I
there,
mean?
okay. I know that you're like Christian or whatever triggered, but like when I think of femininity, I think of the goddess Kali in Hindu, where like she's wild, she's fierce, she's a protector. You are not gonna F with her type ish. Like, and those are all of the qualities of that men would equate to masculinity
Yes,
instead of
that's what I'm
femininity.
saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I said I don't know about the whole thing when people say like, like, well, we all have a masculine and feminine side, because when I look up what they say that would be encompassing this masculine slash feminine side, the protecting and what you just mentioned, they put that on just the men. And frankly, whenever I see like these social experiments, when something's happening like to somebody, most of the people that be speaking up be ladies. And I'm not saying it don't be no men, because it do be men sometimes that do it too, but it be mostly women that be like, hey man, what are you doing? And I feel like that's an even stronger thing, because women are weaker, but like as far as like strength wise, than a man, and they still feel like, hey, I'm still going to take the chance and say something. So it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we have different things inside of ourselves, but I just don't know if we could just mark it down as like, a masculine and feminine, because some men that I knew, because people say that's in everybody, some men that I have known, I don't see nothing feminine in them. And when I think of the feminine, I think of great traits. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't be seeing it. But I don't know, y'all. Like, but I'm not saying that but I totally understand what you were saying, Jessica. And I agree with what you were saying. I'm just saying, and that
Like
wasn't
with
to like,
the trans thing, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I was very articulate with it, but does that make any sense what I was saying about like men trying to even dominate what it is to be a woman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. For sure. I don't disagree at all. You always have good things to say and intelligent things to say. So I wasn't trying to like, attack anything that you were saying. It was just while you were talking, I just started thinking about that. Like, I heard people say that, and I've said it too. And then I just was just sitting here thinking, like, well, what is that? Like, what really is the masculine side or the feminine side? You know what I mean?
When I think of masculine and feminine, I think of like the masculine being containment form. It has nothing to do with gender or, what you're born with. Like when I think of masculine, what I think is honestly something reduced into a form. When I think of feminine, I think of creativity, possibility, things like that, not necessarily how a male walks or how a female walks. Like I said, going back to my example, the goddess Kali, she's wild, she's unpredictable, and with that wildness and unpredictableness and fierceness, that you get creativity from that. You spring up emotion from that. But the masculine side should contain that creativity, should contain that fierceness, because that protectiveness could go into something dangerous if it doesn't have form, if that makes any sense.
Okay, I got you. Let's see. I think the next person up to speak was Navi. Go ahead, Navi.
All I have to say is I think Thanos was right. I think there are some people who just, sorry, y'all, need to be put down. I think that we have lost our minds as people, not so much us in here, but people outside of us. I think a lot of people have lost their minds. They have lost the way. And I don't think there's no coming back from it, honestly. That's all I have to say on that, for real.
All right. I got you, Navi. All right, let me go up here to Barbie, because she was waiting in the request for a while. I'll let you speak, sis, and then I'll go down to Calandra. Go ahead, Barbie.
Hi everyone. Just to talk about the on things on the panel. For one, Krishan Rock and colorism. I don't know why she has fans. I think some people just like problematic people, and because she's light skinned, they let her get away with a lot of things. So I really don't pay attention to her. I don't know why she even has fans. She leans towards the godly image and she does nothing of the sorts. So yeah. And two, Laverne Cox and T.S. Madison. I wonder if people forgot this. T.S. Madison used to do, corn. And I don't know why people even look to him for anything. He's a big man that's just jealous of women. And that lady boy that got up here and was like, he never, you know what, I'm gonna be respectful. She never heard T.S. Madison say that. She's lying. There's many videos of T.S. Madison on the podcast, disrespecting women, especially black women, disrespecting Nene Leakes. I don't even know why Nene Leakes even went up there. And, just disrespecting women and just being just nasty, and it's envy. I really feel like a lot of men are jealous of women because we can give birth, and which is why they like to bring up women that cannot give birth. And the defect of that happening to some women, they bring that up because just to be mean, just to be mean. And they know that even though those women cannot give birth, they still have wombs. They're still women. They're still born with a vagina. I don't know why everyone wants to act. I think the thing is people don't want to hurt people's feelings, and because some people have lost jobs behind this, because they're even doing it in my job. I'm in the dental field, and I'm noticing patients are coming in, and a man came in with oh my God, a trans woman came in with a beard, and I said he, and I got in trouble. I'm just like, what? Women don't have full beards like Santa Claus. Like it was the wildest thing ever. And I'm noticing that a lot of women, especially white women, they're trying to have their children do that, because I saw a little girl that came in. It was a girl. Her mom wanted her to be a boy and was saying I should call him Kyle. And I'm like, that's a girl, but whatever. That's your child. I'm not gonna be disrespectful. I just really feel like Laverne Cox and T.S. Madison, they are very envious and jealous of women because we have what they want. We can give birth. We have vaginas. Men are going to follow us wherever we go. We can literally leave Earth today and say, we want to go to Jupiter. I know it's impossible. Men will follow us, and they will follow us too, because we can give birth. That's our birthright. And they're mad that we have that birthright. They're mad that we can give birth. That's all. And with young Pharaoh and the cuddling of black women, I don't know what happened to young Pharaoh. I'm very spiritual myself. I remember watching him. He always used to uplift black women. I don't know what happened. Some people are just grifters. They go wherever the money is. So, him doing his nails and doing all of that and beating he actually is a woman beater. I found that out recently. So I don't pay attention to what he got going on, but I did see that he did stuff with his nails, and just people are saying he has a handler. I believe he's just doing that because he wants to do it, because he wants money. Nobody's really talking about him anymore. So black women coddling him, black women are always going to coddle black men no matter what. But that's pretty much all I have to say. I enjoy your YouTube Triggered. I email you all the time to talk about things. I think you're one of the most influential, inspirational black women that we have online. And please continue what you're doing. Don't allow the comments to make you feel like you need to stop doing this, because we love you. There's black women over here that love you. And that's all. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Barbie. Appreciate you, sis. All right, let me go next down here to Calandra. Go ahead, Calandra.
I want to say that I think that society will never be okay until women unpack their male-centeredness. I think the example you used with Doechii saying that about G-men, I think that's a prime example of that. I think that women are male centered, and they think that it's better if they be male centered for the LGBTQIA class because that's a protected class. But I think it's all tied to male centeredness, and I feel like life would never be okay for women until other women start to unpack their male centeredness. Because I don't think men are ever gonna change. Because I don't know if y'all saw that video of all those guys doing push-ups and screaming Andrew Tate name out of the prison that he's at, doing push-ups and saying like
Yes.
him. You saw that, Trigger?
Yes, that was crazy.
I screamed. I was like, oh my god. I screamed when I saw that video. And then I saw another video of this court case where this man was saying that he didn't want nothing else to do with his children. And I saw, and for me, I'm never surprised when I see men do stuff no more. Cause like I said, men just it's just a lost cause. But seeing women in the comments defending him, saying that he didn't want nothing else to do with the kids and blaming the mom. Society does not get better for women until other women unpack their male centeredness. I really hate to say that, cause like Chris Watts about to be married again. I just like, until women decide to stick for other women more, we are never going to be okay in society. And I think that, I'm telling you, Nene, Drew will follow male center. I don't care how much a woman gets on the platform and make you think she hate men, but the moment she can defend the LGBTQIA community and she does it, she's male centered. And they do it because it's better. They think that it's better to defend a protected class of men. I'm telling you, it's all tied to being male centered. And that's why I say women have to unpack that male centered, especially black women. Because the wild part I keep saying, like for me, I lost friends because people like, Clancy, you a male hater. No, I just don't believe it. You want black men do not do that for y'all. T women do not make lies and say, oh my God, what are we gonna do about black femicide? I have never saw a lie like that. And until women start unpacking their male centeredness, we will forever be in conversation like this. A lot of women are male centered. And even if you think that you're not, you're male centered. And the fact that women are now praising being pygmies, at that point, Jesus, send the natural disaster. Send the natural disaster. Because what?
Girl, I'm going to tell you right now, when I saw those men outside of the courthouse doing push-ups and saying Andrew Tate's name, I said that I just said this earlier about that agenda of red pill pushing men into homosexuality, because baby, that is so gay. Now but those men, I can promise you, if you ask them, excuse me, sir, are you homosexual? You would, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. You are. Because you would never do that for a woman. You would never feel like you could do that. That was like, honestly, you know, that's got to be one of the gayest things, if not the top number one gay thing that I've ever seen in my life. Now, once again, this is no shade to anybody that is gay. To do what you want to do, but that on the male side, that is very, very suspicious behavior. All right, let me keep going. Go ahead, Brown Sugar. If you there, if you got something to say, Brown Sugar, or I don't know if you might be distracted. Okay.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say I can't believe that lady came up here. Go ahead and get the book bag, Cass. I can't believe that whatever that was came up here and wasn't even a black woman, because when I was listening to that person talk, I was like, something just not right. And I looked on that page, I'm like, this looked like a Latina woman or whatever was going on. I'm like, you're not even black. Like, I just don't understand why they feel so comfortable coming up here, seeing that it's majority black, well, all black women on the panel, and they feel comfortable to voice their opinions like anybody even asked for it. Like, I really wanted to get to a point where when they see us talking, they know not to say anything. And that's why black women need to stop being so accepting, because they feel just way too comfortable. But this was a great live. It was so amazing listening to you ladies. Thank you.
All right. I got you. Yeah, and I just want to say, like Nikki said in the comments, we're too welcoming. You're absolutely correct. I am not, though. I said this so many times, and I want to say it again. I am not welcoming like that. Okay, first of all, I don't even talk to you if you're not black. If you're not black, I ain't talking to you at all. Now, of course, I'll talk to my biracial sisters as well. But if you are not black or you don't have one black parent, I'm not talking to you about nothing, Nathaniel. There's nothing that we first of all, so we got that baseline. If you're not black or biracial, aka you have at least one fully black parent, I'm not talking to you. That's number one. Number two, I generally only talk to women, black women, most of the time. Now, sometimes I talk to men, black men up here, for laughs and giggles, or because I want to drag them, or just because I'm just interested to hear what they have to say. But most of the time, I'm only talking to women. Sometimes I will talk to trans women if we're discussing trans women to hear like why you think what you think, because what you think is crazy. Sometimes I'll do that. But other than that, that's the only people that I talk to. Because if you're not, and the only people that I give grace to or anything like that are black women. Like, and I always say that my platform is based on supporting and uplifting and empowering black women. Monoracial black women specifically, with a hyper focus on monoracial black women, because nobody cares about monoracial black women. But of course, biracial women with one black parent are always welcome as well. That's what I always say, and that's what I stand by. You also have to be a biological woman, period. I don't care what you feel like, what you think that you are. If you got some Franks and beans, this ain't for you. If you had some Franks and beans and you remove those Franks and beans, I'm not talking to you. And I feel like if black people were more like that and they were really serious about it, we would be better. Do you know how many black nerd groups I've been in? Like on Facebook and other places? And I would love the groups, love to interact in the groups. The minute they add white tea people, I'm gone. The minute they add white tea Latinos or white tea Hispanics, they add Asians, I'm gone. I'm gone. Because when I say black, I mean black. I mean, that's all I want to see. That's what I mean. If you something else, I don't want to have the discussion. Because for what? Who is ever asking black people their thoughts and opinions on anything? Never. And more specifically, who is asking black women, hey, black women, what do you think about this? Hey, you know what? Have we considered black women's feelings? Nobody cares. So why do you care? It's the same thing when people talk about, oh, wow, black women shouldn't wear bonnets. Black women shouldn't wear wigs. They shouldn't do this because look at how they'll be viewed. Or look how they'll be perceived by society. When has anybody ever been concerned with how they're perceived by black women? Will you tell me when? Never. Nobody. Nobody cares what we think. So why should we be out here breaking our necks doing these things to be perceived somehow by someone else? It just don't make no sense. But I definitely, yes, and other cultures are definitely anti-black. So it's just like, what I look like being, you know what I'm saying? Like, really like open and welcoming to you. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. No, I never will. Okay, so let me keep going though. Last to speak, Gabrielle, go ahead, sis.
Yeah, thank you. This live was really, really good. I'm really glad I caught this one. I guess my closing, something last one. I guess my closing thoughts are just that I think deep down, like we all know, the difference between a man and a woman. I think even the people who come up on the live and try to argue it and talk about their tribe or talk about inner smacks or talk about the 1 point, I think even deep down they know too, because it's like you were saying earlier, if it was all social construct, if there were no tangible scientific biological differences, then okay, why undergo hormone replacement surgeries? Why take estrogen? Like, why do any of it? Like, why not just present as male and just say, you're a woman? I feel like everybody knows this, and that's why I said I do think you're right about it being a spirit attached to them, because it's like the people who come up here and try to argue that there's this huge difference between sex and gender, that that it's impossible to define what a woman is. They do talk in a similar way, in very like circular ways, where they just can't answer the question or get to the point of what we're talking about. So I do think that deep down they know, and I do agree with the other ladies on the panel who said that it does seem to be part of like a larger agenda to just erase women, because like someone mentioned, like I think it was you hosts who mentioned like the Christian nationalists were saying women shouldn't vote. Then you've got the like super duper far left people who are saying that, you know, women who don't want to date bi males are biphobic or T-phobic. It's like from all sides. It just seems to be and, you know, attack on women. Then you had the podcast where I don't know the person's name, but I just saw it on my TikTok FYP where they were saying that T women are more in tune or more aware of womanhood than us as biological women. It's like, how? Logically, it just doesn't make any sense. And it's like on all of these different sides, it all seems to be boiling down to like an anti-woman attack. And, you know, refusing to define womanhood, you know, calling women cis and fish and other slurs, that is misogynistic. So I guess I think all these people know what they're doing. I really like. I just don't believe that they don't. I don't believe that they don't deep down inside them, even on a subconscious level, know what a woman is. But that is just my opinion on it.
All right. I got you, Gabrielle, and I definitely agree. And I just wanted to say real quick, because I know somebody said in the comments that they had did like research on intersex people and how, like, you know, sex and gender is complicated. And I just wanted to say, I also think that that's something that I said this on a live before, but I just want you guys to know that experts estimate, right, that intersex people make up between 0.018% and 1.7% of people. Okay? That's intersex people, number one. And when you talk about the narrow definition, which is the definition that should be used, people whose like reproductive organs or their sexual anatomy is like visibly ambiguous, or it's clearly they can't at the time classify it as male or female, that's less than, okay, 0.018% to 0.05%. It's not even 1%, bro. It's not even 1%, which basically means it very rarely never happens. Okay? And not to mention that is still an error. That is a defect. And when people talk about the 1% that they bring it up, they talk about like variations from biological strict norms and hidden chromosomal traits and hormones and all of this other BS. The majority of people, like I said, less than 1%, 0.018% to 0.05% of people are intersex. So when trans people come in, well, what about the intersex people? That's why we can say we're women. What about that? It's not you, baby. You're not intersex. You're not. Most people are not. 99.99999% of human beings across the globe are not intersex. So I just want to let people know that. So if you're ever having a debate with a trans person, do not allow them to use that. Don't allow them to use it. Because it's just not true. It's not common. It's uncommon. There's something wrong. It's a condition. So it's just like, let's be for real here. But once again, I really feel like all of these things, like I said earlier, they attempt to attack your emotions and how you feel. And how you feel. They don't expect you to think logically. They don't expect you to think critically. They don't expect you to do research. They just expect you to just listen to what somebody says. Because if you actually use your brain, you'll know that everything that they're saying is complete insanity. Complete insanity. And yes, just like Miss Chrissy Baby said, they're erasing the true people that have a problem. They have a struggle. All of these trans women and trans men, they erase the actual intersex people that have a problem. It's really disgusting when you think about it. It's the same way when you have trans women that say, well, what about the women that can't have kids? Are they women too? So you're actually weaponizing a woman's fertility issues or her fertility to push your sick, twisted agenda. How disgusting. But anyway, I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. Appreciate y'all. I appreciate all of you beautiful, lovely ladies that came up today, expressed your thought and opinion. I'm sorry that you got dropped again, Jessica. I just want you to know I did not do it. I don't know why, people do that. Let's see here. Before I get out of here, China Bill, you said y'all are weaponizing it. Who? Me? Before I get out of here, China Bill, you can send a request up so that I can hear what you're saying, because I don't understand what you mean. I'm confused. Because you said y'all say it is valid. I'm confused. What do you mean, China Bill? I'll
That's
let
an
you speak. I'll let
that's
you speak for 2
that's a
minutes.
key person from my city.
Okay, well,
I just
China
want to
Bill,
let
come
you
on up
know.
here. Brown Sugar know who you are. I'll let you speak for 2 minutes uninterrupted. Because I don't know what you're talking about. You said the people that say having a baby and a period is what makes you a woman. What do you think makes a woman? Right? The whole idea of being a woman is that your chromosomes are XX, right? And there are certain biological processes that are associated with being female and being a woman, right? So I don't know what you're saying. Okay, they don't feel anyway, because if you have XX chromosomes, you're still a woman. What about women that don't have periods when they go through menopause? Are they still a woman? Absolutely. What about women that get their ovaries and uterus removed due to fibroids? They're still a woman. They still have a womb. A woman is not just that. A woman has XX chromosomes. That's why. So if you're a trans woman, you have XY chromosomes. You're a man, and you always will be one. You will never be the same. So I don't know what you're talking about. No, they're just telling you certain things go along with women. Most of the time, a woman can have a child unless she's having an issue. Because who else is having babies? Only women. Men aren't having babies, right? Trans women aren't having babies. They don't have the capability to do so. So, no, you're still a man. You're still a man. You wouldn't have breasts if you didn't get any put inside of yourself. You're still a man. Like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, and this is what I mean. It's like complete and pure delusion. Like, you can be a trans woman, but you're not a woman. Why do you think you put trans in front of it? Because you are not a woman. Like, what are you talking about? Like, okay, you said a man doesn't take estrogen. A man that wants to be a woman takes estrogen. A man that wants to cosplay as a woman takes estrogen. No, you can't change your life. You can never change your life to be a woman. That's what I'm saying. And that's where the delusion kicks in. You can never change your life to be a woman. You are a man and you always will be. At the end of the day, you have a choice on what you want to do. I didn't have a choice to be a woman. No, sweetheart, you haven't done it. You're still a man. And that's something. Do
Trick,
you
can
have a
I say
penis?
something real quick?
I don't know what be wrong with them. Like,
Can I say something
literally,
real quick, Trick?
yeah, go ahead.
I've learned not to go back and forth with men from my city because dudes from Baltimore, even though he likes to put on tracks and have a wig on, they are still illogical. They have that crabs in the barrel mindset. I've learned to not go back and forth with them, and I don't think you should go back and forth with this dude either, because all he's going to do is gaslight you, try to demean you, and be misogynistic. I don't think that he worth it at all.
Hold on, y'all. I need to do some investigation real quick. I tried to send him a request, but okay. I know this is not you. I just went to your page. I know this is not you. I know it's not. Sir, you know what? This is exactly what the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Like, you are not the topic of conversation. Do you understand how insane you have to be a male, taking a female hormone and putting breasts in your chest and trying to be a woman and say that you're the topic of conversation? Are you okay? Nobody wants to have a dick here, sir. I can't have this conversation. You're right. Brown Sugar. Is that
Yeah,
no?
and
And
then
I don't have.
he trying to say that we fans. First of all, nobody knows you, sir.
I
I
didn't.
just
I
looked
didn't
at
know
your
who this
page.
person
Nobody knows
was.
you. You're a nobody. You just got a wig on. Chill out.
I didn't know who this person was until you just said that they somebody from your city. I had no idea who this person is at all. At all. Like, so I don't know what the heck is going on. I just can't believe it. I just went to this man's page. And I'm just like this is this who y'all are jealous of? Can y'all, I mean, is this what y'all like? I'm sorry, did any of the ladies still in here? Are y'all jealous? I'm confused. I just need to know, like.
I want to be very fucking clear. I gave y'all a warning. I gave y'all a fucking warning and I fucking told y'all. Do y'all not understanding what the fuck is happening in Mississippi? Because
I just wanted to get this, and this is exactly why I say, like, there's some type of mental disorder. Because really, I mean, like we said, we just did a whole list of all of these beautiful women. Yeah, like if you're a woman, you have a whole host of women that you could be jealous or envious of. And I can guarantee you that this man is not one. But nonetheless, let me get out of here, y'all. I gotta go. All right. Once again, I appreciate all of you beautiful ladies that came and expressed your thoughts and opinions today. I'm so glad it seems that more of us are waking up to the fact that these men with wigs on really are arrogant and envious of women and want to try to co-opt womanhood. And the more of us that wake up, the more of us that push back, we can stop these things from happening. Really and truly. And I really hope that, hey, you came from your backup page, Aries.
What do you mean? I'm not someone that's been here before.
Oh, okay. Have a great day then. Go brush your teeth. Cause why did you come up here? All right, sorry. I told y'all that if it's ever smoke, I'm not running. So I thought that was the person that was just up here trying to come in the box. But clearly it's just a regular XY. And what do I want to talk to you about? All right, nothing. All right. And anywho, that person followed me too, but I think because Brown Sugar blocked them, it probably will remove that. And you see this? Hold on, let me see if I could show y'all. Because it's still on my YouTube. I mean my tablet. Not my tablet, my laptop. You see it? You see how it says follow back? It be like weirdos like that will hate me, hate what I'm saying, but follow me though. That's why when I be getting reported or like a whole bunch of stuff be going on, like people be like literally follow me and like hate watch me. It's so strange. Like I'm not following no trans woman about nothing. For what? I'm not following none of y'all. Like, it's so weird. It's so strange. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, y'all, though. But once again, I appreciate all of the lovely ladies that came in the chat. And spoke y'all peace in the chat. Also, all the ladies that came up on the panel. I appreciate you. I just want you to know, if you're a woman, you're a black woman, you're listening to this, I'm there for you. You're amazing, you're awesome, you're special, you're intelligent, you're valid. You are the epitome of femininity, and don't let none of these transformers and none of these men or nobody else tell you otherwise. You are a black woman. You have your choices. You can make your choice. If you don't want to date no bi man, you don't have to. All you have to do is just, in my opinion, the only thing I think black women should be doing is living good, being healthy, wealthy, and living life on your own terms. And that's all that I want for every single solitary one of y'all. I'm sending y'all nothing but love, healing, good vibes. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. From infinity to infinity, I will always have your back and speak up for black women. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye. Oh, hold on, let me block this person that just said what you just said. I'm gonna block you. All right, bye-bye. All right.